We're live with the man, the myth, the legend.
All right, Dan. Is he seriously going to sit there and eat a pear?
Probably.
Okay. Where is that? We'll just kill that mic so we don't have to hear that.
I think he's screwing with you. Is that mine? Oh, that's mine on. Sorry about that, Jim.
Oh, wait. I got to turn on YouTube and then turn on our chat.
What's going on, everybody in the chat?
Good evening. Tuesday night chat, it says. Wow. I heard my fans in the background.
Yeah, I can hear your fans because I have my headsets on.
Man,
I'm sure Dan can hear it.
Sounded terrible. Okay, now let me stop that stream. I don't need to be in YouTube. There. Okay. Dan was going to come on and talk about the Inspire batteries that we've been taking apart. What happened was, hey, Rick, Dray, Agent K, Jody, Agent K Video. Let's just call him what he is. Joe from Jaybird Drone. Al Diaz is with us.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Mike from GFO Drone and Tech. Should I put this in? Hey, there's Tomas.
Yep, Tomas. Ariels.
He changed his name, yeah. Yeah, Dan is muted because Dan is eating a pear.
He's lagging. He can hear us.
Can you hear us, Dan?
Yeah, so I just want to say while I'm in the show, I literally cannot understand what you guys were saying. It's so laggy between my computer and my cell phone, same exact thing. So I don't know if it's my internet connection right now that's having a problem, but I'm just the fat guy on the couch right now. That's the most you're going to get out of me until I can start hearing people correctly.
Talk about the TV47, Dan. Can you hear us?
There's Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. I'm on the road, but I wanted to let you know I'm watching the show. And I love the show, so I'll be watching. When I get home, I'll try to get back on. Okay, guys?
All right, Joe. Thanks.
See you later.
I'm half tempted to switch over to my LTE network and see if it makes it better. Let's see what happens.
Oh, was he on just regular cell phone data?
Yeah, that's probably why.
Is anybody else having any problems with lag?
I switched over to LTE and now I can hear you guys and see you guys fine.
There you go.
There's my train, Steve Carpenter.
That's crazy. There is something going on with our internet here, apparently.
Here's Steve.
All right. Well, I don't have long because I'm on LTE. This will start crapping out here pretty fast, too, guaranteed.
All right. Talk to us about what you did with the Inspire battery that I sent out. First of all, guys, I killed 6 Inspire batteries by having them in a carry bucket, and my soft water system had spewed water into the garage overnight. So I killed 6 of them, and then I gave Dan one to take apart. I took one apart, but he videoed it and put the video up in our group.
Pretty much. Oh, you wanted me to actually like go in depth here?
Well, yeah, talk about what we're going to do and what you found.
Yeah, don't just sit there sitting on your butt.
What are you talking about? This is life, bro.
Dan, are you wearing a lava, dude?
Yeah, I actually, these are awesome shorts.
Oh, I thought it was a lava.
Yeah, no, they're workout shorts, bro. I'm sexy, I know. So basically, guys, Jim did send me. Well, no, I went to visit him, and he gave me a battery and sent me home with it the day that we hung out. And I told him I'd take a look at it when I got a chance. And finally, I tore it down last night live on camera to see how complicated the internals were going to be inside this thing. And I came to some very quick conclusions that DJI, first of all, wanted failure because of how many cells they decided to put in there, which was totally useless, I think. They could have gone so many better routes. They wanted the drone to fail, or the batteries to fail after a couple of years. They wanted you to buy more. With that being said, I've established that it is possible to run it on hobby grade batteries, and I think we have a format that will work just fine for doing that. And it's very, very simple. I don't think there's much to it. I think, Jim, you were going to wait until one of your batteries crapped, right? And then you were going to send me one so that I'd have an actual electric board to work with.
I have one that is actually no lights at all. It's died.
Okay.
So that means DJI caps these at 10%. So that means its board is under 10%, but it should not be totally dead.
Right.
Theoretically, you should be able to bring it back by the balance charger.
I'm not even worried about that because it won't make any difference once you plug a new cell into it. It'll establish that it's got a, once you plug in a balance port to it, it's going to establish it's got more than a low voltage. So that stresses me not. With that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and make one of these mods. And I think we discovered that it's 4,500 mAh, which is actually a fairly easy battery to get your hand on. The problem is we don't really know the C rating for the battery, which is what we're working on right now. I don't know how in depth you want to go on that, Jim, but if anybody knows the C rating of a TB47 or a TB48 battery, let me know. Because as of right now, that's really the only thing stopping me from committing 100% to, popping a battery in there that wasn't designed for it and seeing what happens.
I have no idea what the C rating is. You can look up everything else. This is a TB48. It'll tell you it's 5,700 milliwatt hours, 129.96.
Mm-hmm.
watts versus the 99.9 watts. So the TB47 can go on an airplane, the TB48 can't.
Right.
That was the big thing in the day.
So the issue that we run into here is that without knowing the actual C rating for the battery, it's really hard to figure out what the discharge ratio is during draw. So whenever you fly a drone aggressively, whether it's a GPS platform or an FPV or open source, whatever you're flying, it has power demands, which I think most of you guys understand. Those power demands need to draw extra energy at certain times, whether it's windy or you're trying to go faster, whatever the case is. If the C rating is not where it should be, if let's say the C rating is too low and it tries to draw from that, those extra amperage that it needs, it'll go into voltage sag and cause the bird to brown out, and then it'll fall out of the sky like a rock. It'll just die. It'll become a dead stick.
Is that why this has 12 cells?
No.
They don't have. They've got 12 cells.
I don't understand.
12 cells go two in series, and then all go parallel.
Right. It's 2 and 2, so there should be 6, and they're running parallel.
Right.
But altogether, there should be 12 cells, 2 tied into each one. Right. But like I said, with C rating, me and Mel were actually talking about this not too long ago. The Solo can't function under a 10C battery. If you do, it'll brown out. It's the same thing with the, any drone requires that extra draw. If you're putting a battery to it that it can't handle the discharge rate, because it's not there to draw that extra power, then it becomes a dead stick. It'll just completely shut down mid-flight. And it's not going to give you a warning. It'll just shut down. It won't have the power to continue going forward. So it'll just beep and then go into shutdown and most likely just fall out of the sky like a dead stick. So we want to avoid that, obviously, because nobody wants to lose an Inspire. So we're trying to figure out what the C rating is. I don't mind throwing a heavier C rating battery at it. I highly doubt it's over 35, and I doubt it's below 10. So I think a safety zone would be 25. But once again, we're taking a shot in the dark, and it's a guessing game. With guessing games, there's failure.
With the smart board, the smart board it has on there, would it if another battery, would it not know it's a different battery and not the proprietary ones?
So if you can match, and that's what I was talking to Jim about. I believe that the smart battery may detect if the C rating isn't correct, that it doesn't have the draw necessary to function the drone at higher capacity. Like let's say you wanted to go fast and you started going past like 15 or 20 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it realized that there's not enough draw happening from the battery, it'll probably give you some kind of failure warning or, battery overload issue before it actually tanks. I've seen that. You guys know how good the battery warning system is. Most of them are pretty decent on the DJI products. They try to tell you when there's an issue before it becomes a real problem. But if you just power punch it, I don't think it's going to have time to evaluate that. If you just give it full throttle and full tilt backwards, I think you're going to lose a drone. So
I've seen a lot of where it says propulsion errors or propulsion limited.
ESC, yeah.
Those TB47s was never a good battery for the Inspire anyway. It was always the TB48 you wanted.
But that's only because it was a 54. What was it? What did you say it was, Jim? 56, 54, 52?
It was a 4500. The original TB47.
TB47, right. But the 48 was a what?
5700.
Right, 57. So you're getting extended flight time. Not by much, though. No. I wouldn't think it would be much at all.
And the voltage was still the same, 22.8 versus 22.2.
Yeah,
right.
Thought was crazy.
I suspect that the TB48s had a higher C rating along with the higher MAW rating. Because I had both. I had 48s and 47s also.
Probably accurate, Mel. I've seen enough videos about people talking about the TB48. It was supposed to be a high output battery, so I would assume that's probably correct. I don't really understand why you would need the extra power because you're still limited by the software it's running, but I guess it's there if you, for whatever reason. But if you were looking for longer flight times, I would probably say it would guarantee you that.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough of a longer flight time to make a difference.
Exactly.
I suspect that it was because instead of using the Z3 camera or the X3, you could put a X5 or X7.
Right.
And now you need more power to power that sensor and support all that stuff.
Makes sense.
Stronger gimbal motors because it's a heavier camera, all that stuff. And that's what I think the TB48 was intended for.
That's actually
all of that stuff is so old, when the Inspire 1 and the version 2 came out, none of us were even thinking about Inspires at that point in time. We all got them later. So all of the good tech and all of the good information is in the archive somewhere. Who knows?
It's on GitHub.
A lot of it is on GitHub. Facebook also has a ton of archives from the original DJI forums if you wanted to look back into those. Just keywords really helps your search whenever you're in the DJI groups.
Check out the RC forums too. Inspire 1, the RC forums.
There's actually a huge dedicated website just to the Inspire and furthering it, just kind of like the Solo, a bunch of people keeping, putting their heads together to keep the Inspire airborne. And I think that's cool. However, I want an option. Me and Jim both want an option that's available to everybody that is really easy to do.
Yeah.
This guy, Cruiseroy, he has done a couple of videos on
the mod
he's done with them.
Yep.
And he's burnt out battery boards now. Dan and I were laughing about that.
Yeah, he keeps trying to use oversized batteries.
Look at the size of the battery he's using there. I don't want to put it.
Yeah, this is something I wouldn't have done because I already know that the battery management system is regulated at 4,500 mAh. It's not designed to take more than that. That's how the marriage between the battery and the telemetry work. You have to have a set ratio for that. Otherwise, if you don't, it'll be all over the place. Telemetry will never be accurate.
There is a mod for it to attach to the Inspire and connect to those batteries. Is this what this guy's doing here?
But that mod stinks. The one with the clip.
Yeah.
And then you hang two batteries from it. That mod absolutely stinks.
The concept of what he's done here is solid. It's what he's doing after the fact though that I don't understand. I don't get, like, I get it. You're never going to get battery unless you order the individual cells and you rebuild the battery pack from the original cells yourself. You're never going to get those to fit back into that case. All the hobby grade batteries that are out there are totally different. But this guy has a real issue with wanting to run massive batteries on this thing. I think he's of the mentality that a bigger battery, bigger capacity, better flight time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people fall under that and they don't realize lift versus weight, all that fun stuff, you know? So, yeah, this guy just keeps burning batteries, and I'm sitting here going, well, why don't you just stick what it was designed for back in there and go from there, man? You know?
He's sticking a 7,000 milliamp.
No, that's a 9,000.
That was a 9?
That's a 9,000, dude. That's like twice the size of the original battery.
Does he actually turn it on? It doesn't fry his burner or anything?
Yeah, so he turns it on. He gets 3 flights out of it, and then he completely burns the battery out.
And he's burnt out his battery management boards, too.
Twice, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy's just reaching for the clouds here. I don't think he really understands the mod. As you know, don't get me wrong. I've been messing with the battery stuff for, 3 years now? So, you know, it helps to have a little bit of an understanding already. But this guy going into it, man, is all over the map with his testing.
Look at his voltages. The voltages here are too high. They're supposed to be 3.7 per cell.
Well, that storage status would be 3.7.
I don't think this...
Charged would be 4.22 per cell or 4.20 per cell.
Right.
A full battery to DJI is 3.75.
No, I think it's the...
That doesn't make any sense, because that would be average storage status for a 3.7 volt for a any single cell.
I'm not going to put on his volume because there's no need for that. But I already know that he's burnt out the battery management boards.
I mean, he's testing. Somebody had to take a shot at it. You know, I burned out enough solo boards before I started figuring this stuff out when I first got started. So that's just a learning curve. I think he's got a good concept. He's got a good concept of where he's heading. He just didn't continue working on it. He just stopped and moved on to other projects. But I think there's a better system. For instance, 3D printing a nice cage to put the battery in underneath would just be a major plus, you know.
Was it 4.25 that was full then? What the hell was 3.75?
Storage capacity? That storage capacity?
I think you weren't supposed to go below, when flying, you're not supposed to go below 3.25. Am I right, guys?
So 3.3 is where normally you would lose everything from it before it starts to gas out the battery. Once you pass that 3.3, it'll start to expand. Basically, the chemical reaction from draining the battery too low will cause it to break down into a gaseous form and expand. The battery will become puffy.
Don't want that. Hey,
Well,
Jim,
that happens all the time to FPV pilots.
Jim, I just wanted to hop in real fast and say hi to everybody. I've got a board meeting tonight, so I just wanted to say hello to everybody and have a good show.
Steve.
All right, buddy.
Bye, Steve.
Nice to see you, Steve. SoCal.
Oh, Dennis.
It's okay. You'll what, Dennis?
What's that?
Were you saying it's okay, I'll do something, or just say, what's up, Al?
No, I said it. Oh, no, I said SoCal. He was SoCal Steve. Or so-called Steve, maybe. So-called
Dennis.
Steve. There you go.
How many ladies did we love today, sir?
Classified information.
Ah, this guy. So pretty much that's it, man. Jim, unless you wanted to go further than that, that's where we stand with this. We can do further testing. I think we can make it work really easily.
If it goes too low on the battery voltage, it sometimes wipes his flight controller, causing it to have to reflash it.
I don't know if it would wipe the flight controller. It may reset the BMS. It may recalibrate the BMS.
Maybe that's what he's calling wiping the flight controller.
Oh. Yeah, if the bird shuts down, it should just shut down and
You
restart.
start talking some of those phrases like that. It's like, okay, are you talking about Chevrolets or Fords here? I don't know what you're talking about. You know.
Wait, me?
Keep it in English.
Oh, with the flight controllers and reflashing it and stuff like that.
Hugo's, Mel. Hugo's.
Yeah, Hugo's. There you go.
My brother had one of those. He said, when it runs out of gas, you just push it to the side of the road and leave it alone.
They're good for one tank, huh?
Yep.
Can you guys hear this? Is it actually going through my...
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's terribly loud and crackling when you move it. And
Is that better?
in other words, it's
I can move it away from my face. Is that better?
your other microphone that you use when you're at your desk works much better.
Actually, this is the one. It's just plugged into my phone.
He tried to do the other computer wasn't working, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's our internet. Apparently something's going on with our internet because I'm on LTE right now just to be part of this. So like I said, I'm burning my LTE up at this point, but it is what it is.
All right, so we have to talk about
very low usage, Dan.
Well, I have a roommate, and I think he's back there downloading massive files, and it's just crapping out the internet.
No, I mean your phone stuff is very low usage.
Oh, well, kinda. I watch it deplete my battery like crazy. As soon as I pump over to LTE, man, the battery just starts to drain off really, really fast. So,
yeah, I get it.
I've even got it plugged in, and it's still chewing the battery up.
Okay. The Skydio X2. We have to talk about it because it came out today or yesterday, and it is their enterprise drone system.
Did it come out, or it was announced that it's available this fall or some crap?
Right. Just announced it'll be fourth quarter before it comes out.
All right, I'm bailing, guys. I don't care about commercial platforms.
Party pooper.
Not to be a dick, but I don't get into the commercial drones. I'm not interested. Thanks, guys. Jim, you want to have another talk about this fun stuff? We'll do it again, buddy.
All right.
Hi, bro. Later.
See you, Dan. Bye-bye.
Later, Mel. Dennis. Al.
Was everybody even interested in this thing? Because it's a commercial drone.
The Skydio commercial? Yeah. No, who cares? I mean, you're going to be, if you're doing commercial work, you're going to be flying it yourself. You don't want anything that's going to have all, I mean, I don't know. That's my thought.
It's an interesting diversion. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but Skydio is notorious for being a drone that kind of flies itself, and the operator is sort of extra baggage,
Isn't that a lower end thermal camera?
Yeah, it's a FLIR boson.
And a business drone, that wouldn't be a good idea. So it must be a serious change from what they've previously done. Makes me wonder what are its features, but I don't know anything about it.
I still wonder why they're still sticking with the 12 megapixel camera.
See, that makes no sense to me.
No.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they're proud of it.
Even the Spark was 20, I believe, wasn't it?
Oh,
the what? The Spark?
Yeah.
No, it's like 12 or something.
Was it 12? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm shocked that they came out with this. They haven't even cleared orders for their the Skydio 2. I mean, this is just announced, but I'm kind of shocked they came out with this already.
They've got another 100 million came in venture capital too. That was also announced. Unbelievable. I guess they're really. Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I think these manufacturers are of course, DJI is not very popular with the United States at the present time, and until the United States discovers that all of these drones are manufactured in China, these other manufacturers, I think, are hoping to get their foot in the door, their feet in the door, whichever. That's what I think's going on there. But
I think you're exactly right, because this is exactly what they're hoping for, the military contracts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because when you get down to it, okay, I've seen all their videos. When you get down to it, they're not showing videos up close. What they're trying to sell you is the super zoom. They sit there and say it's a 380 times zoom.
Yeah, that's pretty scary when you think about that. My goodness.
That is crazy on a 12 megapixel camera.
You know,
Okay.
You could watch the face of somebody, you know, a quarter mile away.
Well, now don't think that that isn't possible already. I'm not. I have the Zenith 330.
Not with any of these drones of this size, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but
you don't even need a drone to do it. They got this lens you can put in front of your cell phone now that'll zoom in a mile away.
Look at the Samsung S20. Sorry, Dan.
But you're gonna have to throw the phone pretty high to get that picture. You know, of a mile away. So, yeah, it's interesting. It is for sure.
What I was more interested in, now let me get rid of this and bring us over to this one here, because, okay, I have to go back and hit share. This just pissed me off, boys. We're all useless, and there's no need for us, because according to Flytrex CEO Yaram Bash, he can teach a pizza delivery boy to fly in 2 days. Moreover, delivery drivers can easily be retrained to become drone operators. We don't need a 787 pilot, Bash says. After 2 days of training, a delivery driver can become an operator.
Of course he can. And after 2.5 days, he can crash into a tree.
Thank you. They're talking about flights 3.5 miles away.
Oh, wow.
Let me get some more coffee, but let me give you a little tidbit there.
Yeah.
All the large trucking companies, JB Hunt, Schneider, Swift, all of them, they hire a guy fresh out of truck driving school, or they run him through their own truck driving school.
Right.
6 months later, they make him a trainer. Okay? That's how it works. That's how it works. I need to get some coffee. I'll be right back.
They're all using the 600 Pros, the M600 Pros. This is their Iceland video, but their video in North Dakota is the same. And you see how he just uses I guess it's their own system there. He's just sitting there with this. This is what the operator is supposedly going to be using. Just a handheld. Now, if you haven't seen how many problems there has been with the M600 on its own.
No, I haven't seen that.
This guy's.
I don't follow this commercial stuff at all.
Hey.
On the app, so I don't have to keep putting in the phone number. So Shannon said yes.
Now he's talking about dropping it from a height of 80 foot to people's backyards. And
that's so they stay above trees and stuff?
I guess.
But that would work here, but some of those big pine trees, they're out in the west.
Oh. How about where I live? My trees are 100 foot tall.
Yeah, that'd be pretty safe here at 80. I mean, it's pushing the limits, but
I'm all very familiar with that.
I don't see that working anywhere, especially beyond visual line of sight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be able to know how to fly that M600. Let me tell you something right now. It does not fly like a regular drone. Doesn't fly like an Inspire or any of those.
Nope.
And when one of the 6 go down, it comes down, it just twirls down and crashes.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. Helicopters, yeah. It just.
M600 is pretty stable, though. I had the opportunity to fly it 3 days for 2 hours each day, and it was pretty cool.
You took the time to learn how to use it, I'm guessing?
What was that?
You took the time to learn how to use it?
No, it was for a client. I lied and said I knew how to fly one, and I went out there and flew it for them. They had a gas analyzer on it, so they were doing some testing and stuff over near San Jose, Mineta.
Well, these guys all thought it was easy.
Mike has an interesting point. That I don't know if they're talking about wind or not, but there was obviously no wind there. But under most circumstances, that thing would be swinging all over the place.
I've seen some pretty stupid videos of what people do with these. You have to commit with this drone. Either you land it.
How about that right there?
Yeah.
They tried to baby land it. You can't.
You have to commit. You either land it or you take off.
Yep.
Watch this idiot.
Are they on a rooftop or something?
awesome.
Yeah, they're on a rooftop.
Look at his surroundings. There's nothing safe about this.
I had no idea how big that thing was. Wow.
That's huge.
That's a salad maker there.
Boy, I'll say. And these guys are fixing to become ground beef.
Oh.
Oh.
Oops.
He pushed the wrong button.
Oops.
Oh.
Double oops. That's when I'd be running for home.
Absolute idiots. And Flytrex thinks they're going to train their delivery drivers in 2 days to just go ahead and fly it and fly 3.5 miles away and
All
everything's
they're
gonna
hitting is the slider button, all right? That's all he did. So are they really flying it?
This guy
hit that button.
This guy here didn't commit to taking off.
Nope.
When you hit up, you got to hit up all the way. Power the damn thing up. Now remember your vortex that your own aircraft, your blades make.
Right.
You can get caught in that too. Get up.
You got to get above. You got to get out of the ground effect. Yep.
Right.
That's why all the DJI drones, the little ones, the Mavics and stuff, when you use auto takeoff, they go up about what, 4 or 5 feet?
Yeah,
and they don't baby themselves. They go whoop up there. And there's a reason for it. It's because that's how they have to be flown. But most people don't know that.
Now this guy, it's hard to notice, but he has his antennas on the remote control pointed straight out. And as we know, that's not how they operate. The wire, the 3-inch wire, goes straight up.
Oh, what happened there?
A motor failure.
Yep.
He had a single motor failure.
Wow.
That's all it takes.
Now he has several failures. Hello, Ron.
Howdy. Howdy.
Oh, hey, Ron. I didn't hear you knock.
Thought I'd share something with you guys tonight. I debated on it because I'm a little embarrassed.
Uh-oh.
I'm the proud owner of a brand new spanking bouncing Mavic 2 Pro.
Nice.
Oh.
I thought you had
Why are you embarrassed? Did you crash it?
Wait a minute. I thought you had one.
Yeah, I thought
did.
so too.
The one I had yesterday was about 2.5 years old. No longer have it.
So there's a reason that you bought the new one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We've all been there and done that. Well, let's see what happened.
Well, I thought I'd share my experience with you guys. I was in a non-cellular data area, 1,000-foot cliff on my right, and probably 400 or 500-foot mountains with, when somebody here earlier mentioned 100-foot pine trees. 100% pilot error. I was trying to do one of my cinematic, yawing to the left and getting that slow turn, and I know that those side sensors don't work
unless you put it in tripod mode.
Exactly,
which is stupid.
So, all of a sudden, I hear beep beep beep, and it was the front sensors looking at this pine branch. About a foot in front of it. And before I even had a chance to make any correction, all of a sudden I see this spinny stuff going on the screen. And that was it. So the problem with that is, again, I'm in non-cellular data area. I'm like, all right, don't panic yet. I looked down at my screen. I'm only 600 feet from me. I'm 350 feet up, though. And I honestly thought I was just maybe 50 yards at the most, 50 feet even maybe, on the left side of the road. Well, indeed, I was a lot further than what I thought. And again, 100% pilot error. So when it went down, whatever it hit or how far it fell, I have no idea. But irregardless, the battery came out. So now I don't have that. And so I have the Smart Controller. I see its last position, and I can go into the flight records and see.
Right. Tell them how you.
So
what did you use on the controller to find your drone?
So I went into the flight records, and it actually shows the exact, on the smart controller. The smart controller versus a regular controller using your phone or your iPad. The smart controller, and I didn't think of you yesterday. I forgot you had one, but it does not have that Find My Drone.
Right.
And again, keep in mind, I'm not in cellular data area.
Because I was showing Ron we were on live with each other in Messenger, and I'm showing him the Find My Drone app, and I'm just saying, well, just touch the Find My Drone on the Go 4 app. And he goes, Jim, the smart controller doesn't have it.
It don't.
Ron, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. So
wow.
I'm like, all right, don't give up yet. So I drove 5 miles, got into cellular data. I'm like, all right, who the hell has a smart controller? And they're thinking. I'm like, Ken Dobo. So I don't have his number. So I'm like, I think Dan does. So I called Dan, and Dan did an awesome job, man. I tell you, and again, that's where I like this whole community of people we have, how willing they are to help out. Dan actually texted Ken, and he also texted, got a hold of Mike from down in Florida. Mike.
I forget now.
Oh, Accelerate Heights.
Right.
From Accelerate. He has a smart controller as well. But actually, Ken called me back like in 2 minutes. And we went through the whole process. And he said, Ron, the sucky part is, he said, that's where you're screwed, where you're in. I said, well, Ken, right now I'm actually in cellular area. I drove 5 miles out of the canyon to get that. And he's basically telling me a couple different ways to get the coordinates. He said, basically what you're going to have to do at that point is get the coordinates, get them on your phone, put it in Google Maps. And so actually that worked. Literally the drone was about 150, 200 yards off the highway at the most. The problem is getting to it. And I spent better part of as a matter of fact, I put Jim on alert. I said, if I don't call you back tonight, I gave him precise exact location of where my truck would be parked as far as starting for a search party. It took me well over an hour to go maybe 100 yards. And finally, I'm like, you know what? And then what Ken had actually told me, he's like, Ron, if it gets to the point where, it's a $1,500 drone versus a $50,000 hospital bill, that's where I was. Yeah.
That's what Ron had to climb up to go find his drone, 380 feet up.
And what's the problem with that?
That's insane.
Yeah. So, after an hour, after a couple falls, several scratches, a few bruises, I'm like, Ken's right. It's not worth it. So I'm like, screw it. Chalk it up as a loss. Chalk it up as a lesson. And I wanted to share with you guys, and I know you Mavic 2 owners know this, but guys, keep it in mind, man. I was all fixated on, getting that smooth panning cinematic shot and not paying attention to where the hell the drone was. It's like I said,
it happens to all of us. I nearly blew mine into a tree 50 feet in the air doing that same exact thing.
Yeah.
Except the rear sensors picked it up, and I looked up at the drone, and it was like, oh, shit, I was about to back into a tree.
Yeah.
That just pisses me off that you can't use the side sensors in any. I don't use the modes. If I'm doing a point of interest, I do it by myself and all that. Yeah. And I have to constantly be aware that the sensors aren't on. I too didn't know that it didn't have the Find My Drone on the smart controller.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Al and Mel, you both have smart controllers. Anybody in the chat? If you go into flight records and it actually plays a little video of your actual flight path in itself.
Right.
Right at the during the whole playing of that video, it actually shows your coordinates. And I actually took those coordinates, and put them right into Google Maps. Found it instantly. And matter of fact, when I drove back out of cellular area back into the area where the drone was lost, on Google Maps on my phone, it actually showed where my truck was parked. Said your drone's about 180, 200 yards up that mountain.
So now we know why Recovery Drone has that name.
Yeah.
Ron, I'm sorry for your loss.
But at least you found
I've
it.
been through that.
No, I didn't find it.
Oh, you didn't
find it.
I
He
thought
couldn't
you
get to
found it. But I thought you said after you got the GPS coordinates or latitude, longitude, and flight record, you went back.
It took me. Yes, I know where it's at. I just can't get to it.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be a way to get to it. There's got to be a way.
Well, how high was the brush on the ground, Ron?
When I was climbing up, guys, this is no lie. I'm climbing up. I've got brush up to my neck.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I can't see the actual hard surface that I'm walking on.
Right.
This is when I took a couple. If you could see the bruises and scratches on me right now,
I can't say I don't blame you.
Take a chainsaw and a machete.
Easy.
For your gun.
He fell
And
down
your gun.
3 times
And
trying
your
to
gun.
climb the damn thing.
yeah. It's and then the higher I got, the worse it got. The steeper.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, and I'll tell you what, it's big in that canyon. I was scared. I'll admit, going up through that tree line. It's like there's a lot of rattlesnakes up there, and
Tis the season.
You're not going to call for help because nobody has cell data.
Right.
We literally had a connection to each other before he lost cell data. He told me, he said, "Okay, I'm entering the canyon."
Yep. And I told him, I said, I will be 3 miles up the canyon, right side of the road. Here's my truck. Here's the color. Here's the license plate. If you don't hear from me tonight, somebody go to my truck, go on the left side of the road and go up the hill. Start looking. Yep.
That's a job for Bear Grylls to find that thing.
They would go up there with a FLIR camera and find you.
Probably, yeah. That'd be the way to find me. Yeah.
That sucks.
That'd be the only way.
But like I said, guys, the big thing, 100% pilot error, my mistake, lesson learned. I thought I'd pass it on to you guys. We all try to get those cinematic shots, and
you know what I've started doing for that, and I hate it. I hate it because the drone doesn't move at the speed that I want it to move. But I just put it in. If I'm know that I'm going to be in danger, I put it in tripod mode so I can light those sensors up, and then if I have to, I'll speed the footage up a little bit later. But and again, because when you're watching that screen, you're out there by yourself. You're no harm to anyone, so there's no actual reason to keep 100% view on your drone. You know where it's at. You can look up at it now and then. But when you're trying to get that shot, you're the camera operator. You're the director at that point. You can't do everything at once.
Yeah, and that was where I was at fault. I was fixated on that screen.
The only other thing you can do is a VO, and that's not always, not always reasonable.
But,
I crashed using tripod mode on the Mavic 2 Pro, my first one, and it was doing a roof job, taking pictures. It was in a bad spot under wires. I should have never did it, and I crashed, and that was a live and learn moment. Embarrassing and everything. Didn't even finish the job. Didn't get paid for anything. Walked out of there with my tail between my legs, man. It was so embarrassing. That was a live and learn moment. Taking pictures at a residential house. It was the first time I've ever done it. Got there and I just looking at everything, the wires, the trees. Something told me not to do it, but at the same time, I felt like I had to do it. So I put it in tripod mode. I started taking pictures manually. And I was like, all right, the side sensors are on in tripod mode. What I think happened was it went into ATTI mode. It started drifting. It lost connection. And the next minute, I'm looking at my smart controller, and everything looks fine. And I look up, and I hear like a lawnmowing sound. Now look at the screen, and the drone's upside down, and the camera's doing this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it sucked. It was embarrassing. I'm glad it didn't destroy anything.
You know,
was,
that
more my hope than anything. But man, embarrassing moment. Live and learn.
that is something you have to remember, though, because they will go into ATTI mode, and especially on the older drones, you have to come out of P mode, go into ATTI mode, and then come back into GPS or P
to get it to correct. Yep.
But you don't have that on the Mavic 2 Pro. There is no. All you have is sports and
What?
Say
that again?
There's no ATTI mode in Mavic 2 Pro.
No.
Right.
It just switches into it. Yeah, it's not like you can manually switch into it.
But if you switch out of program mode into sport and then back, it's the same thing. It does this, it gives you the same effect.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are
you guessing, or are you sure?
No, I'm like 95% sure of that.
Okay.
Because the trick is not so much switching it to ATTI mode and back. The trick is switching out of GPS mode.
And trying to
once you change something and then bring it back to reconnect, then that should air quote reconnect.
No, with that smart controller, you know, it showed where it was at, but because I'm out of so deep in the canyon, it didn't show where I was at. So, you know, I couldn't tell, you know, but I went up there today, you know, I knew it was 600 feet away and 200 yards up. And, you know, in fact, Mike B mentioned something about taking the new one up there. I did take the new one up there today, and I searched the top of the trees because sometimes they will. They'll
hang up. Yeah.
Yeah. I hit the very, I mean, I'm talking within a foot of the top of that tree, less than a foot. So I'm wondering, did it go down and just hit one? Because, I mean, it was so thick in there. Oh, my gosh, it was so thick.
Sucks.
But I went up there, and I took it right to the top of the trees where I thought it was at. And I just sat there and hovered at about, I don't know, 5 feet above those trees and just turned and looked and looked and looked today. And
so you had the crash yesterday?
Yeah.
And today you have a new Mavic 2 Pro?
I do.
How the hell did you work that out?
Yeah. My friends at Best Buy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Best Buy here doesn't even have drones anymore. They've got the toy drones.
Really?
My Best Buy still got them.
Yeah.
So that was out of your own pocket, right, Ron? The second one.
It was. Yeah.
Hey,
you only had to buy the drone. Did you get another Plymore kit so you'd have extra batteries and stuff now, or what'd you do?
No, I just, you know, I didn't want to spend all that extra money, so I actually found a price cut of like $60-70 on Amazon, and I went to Best Buy and they price match.
Yeah, they will.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I got a half decent deal, and then I'm a pretty good customer there, so they took good care of me.
What I wanted to say real quick is that DJI tells you in the manual that if your drone disconnects for 3 seconds, it's supposed to go back to its home point, return to home.
Right.
It does not. There are multiple, if you look in the forums of DJI, there are multiple forums full of the M600s and all the other drones. I was just looking because I mentioned the M600 because there was a crash posted today that I was looking at. And you could just look at my screen. There's 8 seconds. 2 seconds, 8 seconds.
I've never had the guts to just send my drone out there and then turn the controller off and see what the drone does. It's supposed to come home.
For that, Jim?
Huh?
Isn't there a setting for that?
Yeah, you in the return to home setting, I think you can.
You can't change the time. No.
I thought you could.
No.
Can you not?
No. When it data disconnects, it's 3 seconds. According to their program, it's supposed to automatically go into return to home mode.
Okay.
But this thing kept flying. And as you can see, it made it to, I think, 4,000 feet out. Let's see, where are we? Now, look at this map now. This is in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So, you know, we're not talking about houses. There are none. That's an open field. And then, when did it finally hit Look, all of a sudden we're going to be in a no-fly zone. How the hell does that happen? But anyway, the point is I've got it back connected, and see, then it said signal lost, returning to home, but it was 5,000 feet out, 4,800 feet out, without me being able to do anything.
I have never had that happen with any of my drones, my older Inspires or any of them.
So do any of you guys use Ground Station Pro?
Yes.
Do you set waypoints? I tried for the first time to set waypoints manually and then send my drone up. That just this today, and it started its mission. It went out and it went over about 1,200 feet to where I'd set the first waypoint, and then it just sat there. There was no error message, no it just sat there, and I waited and waited and waited. It never left that first waypoint. Any ideas?
No, because
well, there was a waypoint action. It was to start recording. That's it.
Right, that shouldn't have done anything. You can change altitude, change the camera angle, all of that. Yeah. Once you make the whole flight up in GSPro, it sends that program to the bird, and it's supposed to automatically do it. It's not supposed to just stop, like your situation.
That's what I thought. And I told it, you're not supposed to stop. But so.
Oh God.
Sometimes
did you use a megaphone when you did that though? You know?
No. I thought it was listening to the remote control. So you're not supposed to stop.
Well, I learned. Speaking of learning things, totally off topic, but I learned something today.
Well, what'd you learn?
That when you haven't ridden a motorcycle in 40 years, and you strap a helmet on and spend half a day riding, you have a sore neck at the end of the day.
I bet that's true.
Wait till you wake up the next day. You'll probably be.
The rest of me ain't doing too good either.
Ron, are you going to show something?
Yeah, I wanted to share what the whole reason I went up there. I figured I already kind of skated death once this week. I don't know, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I was out Friday night, had a friend with me visiting from California, guy I used to work with on the Army base, and I take him out in the four-wheeler because we're going to go out in the woods. I'm like, buddy, you're really going to enjoy this. You're going to have a good time. And we got about an hour into the ride, and we stopped at this little hole in the wall out in the middle of nowhere, and I got him a really good burger, and we're sitting there for about 5 minutes. I looked up in the sky. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I was on the other side of this mountain, but I don't know what F number this tornado was, but tornado came through, and this was kind of somewhat of the aftermath.
Yeah, you can see a lot of felled trees there.
Oh my God. It leveled the whole side of that mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That house is still so lucky.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I was just on the other side of the mountain, and we were racing home trying to get ahead of it. And I wasn't sure we were going to make it or not. If that tornado would have come over the mountain, then we would have been toast. Yeah.
So ultimately, you lost your Mavic 2 because of a tornado, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
You can blame it on that.
I went out there to film this stuff the day after, and yeah.
There you go. Blame it on the tornado.
Yeah.
So now you filmed that today?
I filmed that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible stuff. That was quite a shot.
Yeah, it's the pretty canyon. The sad part is it's probably one of the prettier areas of the Black Hills of South Dakota. About 10 minutes from Sturgis, 15 minutes from Sturgis. Yeah, it was beat up bad.
You've got all this off-road gear,
right?
And camping gear,
right?
And basically survival gear.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there some way you can use some of this fancy equipment you got to go some other way to get up on that hill where you can get your drone? I mean, hell, they used to do it in mules and horses in the old days, and you got fancy stuff.
Yeah.
That's
If
I mean, I don't know who owns the land and all that. Well, you know what kind of issues you have there, but
it's nothing there. It's national forest. I tell you, Mel, I don't know. I could take some ropes and work my way up there. I haven't 100% given up on it yet. I got a buddy that I talked to today about it, and I don't want to attempt it alone again. Put it to you that way.
Yeah, I'm not saying go alone, but
Yeah.
Ron, you were 380 feet up, right? AGL?
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
Answer Dre's question.
yeah. So, and like I said, the nice thing.
That's only from where he took off.
Correct.
Up on the side of the hill, he was probably only 70 feet up, or whatever the treetops are. 100 feet, 100 feet, whatever.
I was 360 feet AGL from where I was at.
Right.
And according to the coordinates, it said I was about 200 yards away. That's it. That was that. And I actually got within 100 yards of it. Maybe even a little less. And it just, and the light was starting to go down. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And you're sitting there thinking rattlesnakes, like, what if I fall, man?
Yep.
I just didn't.
You need a partner with you, and you need someone on the ground, and you need to have walkie-talkie communication.
Yeah.
So that if y'all get hurt, whoever's on the ground can jump in the pickup and fly and get help.
Yep. Because somebody will actually have to leave the area, drive 5 miles out to get cell data, call for help.
Yeah, or find somebody that's got a landline phone or something in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But just think of this. I know it's possibly good night, Dennis.
Good night.
Tell the wife hi. It's possibly a damaged drone that you can probably get repaired if it doesn't get rained on.
Yeah.
DJI will fix it. But if the data on the SD card is salvageable, because when the camera loses power suddenly, it doesn't close the file correctly, and it corrupts the video file. I've had to rescue one, so I know that that's what happens.
Yeah.
Just think of how amazing that footage is going to be when you can put it in a different video and go, man, just check all this out, and then you see all the, you know what I mean?
1 second.
Tomas says it's not worth it. Cut your losses.
In a way, he's kind of right.
Pro Team 99 is my brother, Matt, in New York. Hey, Matt.
Oh, hello, brother.
Happy birthday.
Oh, it's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
2 years younger than me. He gets to call me Jimmy.
Well, how come we can't?
Yeah.
You're not my brother. It's James when you're in trouble. Jimmy if you're a family member. The rest it's Jim. Just Jim.
Okay. I'm thinking we all get you out there in South Dakota at that ride you all going to pretty soon and get you tied to a fence. We'd be able to call you anything we want.
That's pretty true. And that's it. See, Ron fell 3 times while he was trying to climb up. He says the brush was about shoulder high.
Yeah, that's the problem is when you're doing stuff like that, you have to cut your trail, but leave stuff on the side for handhold and foothold. So you have to cut a very, very narrow trail that you can get through, and then use the brush where it comes out of the ground as actual anchor points for your hands and feet.
Yeah, you're talking sweet there, Mel, but you and I aren't doing it.
Well, I'm too old and fat to do it.
Can always hire somebody to do it.
Not happening. Because I was sitting there telling Ron, too, well, just bring a 100-foot rope with you that you can put around a tree so you can back down slowly and all that. And I'm thinking, look, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, just hire somebody, get a cherry picker or something.
What, did you see the picture? It's straight up a mountainside.
That ain't going to happen. It's going to have to be somebody experienced in climbing and stuff that can go do it.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But you,
playing out in the woods.
So you guys don't do climbing type rescues? You have other people that do that? Huh? Oh, you just mostly transport though, right? You actually don't.
Yeah, unless I'm on the rig, the ground rig. But yeah, that video is only about 2 seconds long. But shit. Oh. Yeah.
Well, I know that it sucks, but
You're a pain in the ass, Agent K.
the video that I have of my 4-day-old Mavic Pro Platinum torpedoing my Inspire 1 version 2 is priceless.
I remember that. Is that video
colonoscopy?
Is that up on your page, Mel?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Did you get your Pro Platinum back yet, Mel?
Nope. In fact,
How
I
long has
forgot
that
again
been
today
out
to call.
in service? A few months?
No, it's been about 3 weeks now, probably. Or more.
Oh, that was all? I thought it was longer.
Maybe more.
Yeah, because they haven't told you anything about it, right?
Yeah, they told me the only thing they offered me was a replacement for $850.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And I said, no, send me my drone back. And that's the last I heard.
Wow. Holy Christ.
Because Jeff Sills says, and what it is I called DJI afterwards and said, you know, or maybe I tweeted it, you know, it's, hey, support. What the hell? You didn't even give me an estimate. I asked for an estimate. You wrote me a letter saying the drone's out of warranty. You'll gladly sell me another one. I knew the drone was out of warranty when I sent it to you, for Christ's sakes.
Right.
I wanted an estimate on repairs. Oh, well, we don't repair water damaged aircraft. There's too many things that could be involved with, you know, we just as soon sell you a replacement. I said, yeah, I'm sure you would. So you sell me a replacement for $850. You take mine and you figure out what's wrong with it for $50, and then you sell it to some other fool for $850. No, it ain't happening. Send my drone back. I ain't heard yet.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, I keep forgetting. I want to call. And
how long has it been now? Has it been more
probably
than
a month now? Probably.
Wow.
You know, guys, one of the things, two things I wanted to mention real quick. You know, in reference to yesterday, and again, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but you know, I just love this drone community that we're in, and how, you know, I said we're all able to help out. I said, Ken, man, when Dan helped me out initially, I called Dan. He reached out to Mike and to Ken. Ken called me back in like 2 minutes. Like I said, Ken did his best, man, to help me out. And one of the thing I wanted to mention tonight too, just because I know he's on, I want to do a shout out to Rick Halber. Dude, that man saved my life this past week.
He's good at that.
He's real good at that. He mentioned it to me quite a while ago, and I'm kind of a little leery on borrowing other people's things, especially when they're expensive. I get a little nervous. But there's 2 different photo shoots I wanted to do, and one of them was one of my coworkers was doing a 30-year wedding renewal of their vows, and we met up Saturday morning. We did about 200 miles on the motorcycles, and went through the mountains, and we stopped at different points, and they did different segments of their vows, you know. But I got a damn good camera, but it, you know, where I was filming, and a couple times they actually got their old wedding party. The entire wedding party came 30 years ago.
30 years later?
That's cool.
Yeah. And so when you got a big wedding party, you're backing off a little bit. I'm 10, 15 feet back, you know, and I actually tested it the other day with and without. and without it sucked. But Rick had lent me, he contacted me a couple of times, said, Ron, I have this, it's the Comica BoomX-D wireless audio transmitter. Oh my God, that thing is the bomb. I took it actually comes with 2 different transmitters. I only took one, and it's no bigger. It's actually smaller than a pack of matches. And I clipped it on the inside of his shirt, his T-shirt. And when they were doing their vows and stuff, I was back sometimes 10, 15 feet and hooked it up on there. It sounds like I had a mic right up to his mouth. It was freaking awesome. So Rick Albert, thank you, brother.
Yeah, those things work really good.
Yeah,
but I remember he was on Jim's live stream and he was talking about it. I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
some time back.
Yeah. And Rick, like I said, he reached out to me again and said, Ron, you want me to send it to you? I'm like, well, okay. And like I said, I'm a little leery on borrowing people's things, so I get a little nervous. And but so I said, okay, and thank God I did, man. But so Rick, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, tried out 2 systems. Did you try out that Rode video mic too, the micro?
No, it was just the I didn't. I just had the one that Rick had sent me. It's the Comica.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called the Comica.
I don't know. Is it Comica or Comica?
Comica, yeah. BoomX-D. And I said, boy, I tell you, the quality just sounds so crisp and clear. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So I can't wait to get this video together.
This is the one I have. So you have a transmitter and then you have a receiver. So you can, with the transmitter, you can plug the lab mic into it.
Right.
Run it up under their shirt, whatever, hide the lab mic, and then plug the receiver into a digital audio recorder. And this is good for like 60 feet, 70 feet. Now, see, I don't have the little ones. I wish I had the little ones.
Oh, my God. Mel, they're awesome, man. They have little clip. It actually comes with 2 transmitters. I thought about putting one on both the bride and groom or husband, wife, whatever.
Right.
But I just put one on him. And at one point, his daughter, who was about, I want to say 10 feet away, she had done a speech. And it sounded like he was standing right next to the mic. So, yeah, wow. I was extremely pleased. Very pleased. Yeah, like I said, they're just tiny little things.
Yeah. I think Mitch has a set of those. Maybe it's a different manufacturer, but he has a set just like that.
And there's the new ones from is it Rode? The ones?
Maybe that's the one that Mitch has. Mitch has something like that. I know. He was showing it off the other night.
I remember that. It's like $270 for the whole kit.
And what's the range on it? It's at 60 feet.
Well, mine, the range is better than 60 feet. Ken Heron did a video on this Comica and the other one that he uses, and he did it at the radio station. And the range, he had the thing upstairs, and he went downstairs and out the building and around the back and all that, and it was still picking up just fine.
Now, is there a way to control the input?
No.
Like what if Ron didn't want, like what if the groom is giving a speech and then you don't want the crap from behind him or whatever, the people talking at the table or whatever?
Audacity. You'd have to do it all in post.
You know what, Jim? Funny you mentioned that. The last location we stopped at, again, they were about, I'd say 12 feet, maybe 15 in front of me. And there was probably like 6 or 8 people. So again, I had to stand back that distance, so I could get the view of everybody.
Right.
And there was probably 30 people that came in this group. Some went by motorcycle, some went by car. But there was a baby that one of the the family members kept clowning around with, and this baby kept laughing and giggling and screaming. And I kept turning around going, shut up.
Right.
But you know what? I played that segment back. You could barely hear that baby. I could hear them with that because I said the baby was 3 feet behind me. But again, that transmitter was 12 to 15 feet in front of me. So it didn't really, I could hear the baby, but it did not interfere with what they were saying.
See, that's exactly what I'd be worried about.
Yeah. I was too. But like I said, everything worked out perfect.
Now,
Hey, Ron.
Bob's asking, did you record that band you were gonna?
No. For the small group.
You remember that band you were gonna?
Yeah, I have not done that yet. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. Rick told me to go ahead and hang on to it, but I don't want to keep it too long. For 1, 2, but only one transfer.
Jesus,
yeah,
150 yards.
I don't know what the distance is on that Comica. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. It actually had a little what do you call them? A little mop head.
Like a game.
Dead cat.
Dead cat.
Yeah, dead cat. Yeah. And I went to put that on him initially, and then I'm like, oh, that looks like crap. I could see that in the video. I'm like, so I took it off. I think it would have helped a little bit, but still, I'll tell you what, compared to what I would have got without it, hands down. And
That's what I was talking about, Rick. The Rode One. Sorry, Ron.
Yeah. No, good setup. I would recommend it. Yeah, definitely recommend it.
I think I would just like to have either a gain control or an ABC switch on distance that it's going to pick up.
That would be nice to be able to control when you're doing the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can you imagine if you had to go into Audacity and get rid of that, just the baby crying and whatever?
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Is that Audacity program pretty hard to use, or is it easy?
No, it's pretty easy, actually.
It's not terrible. The trouble is just like everything Adobe, there's learning curve, and then once you figure out what you're doing, do you do it right? And it just takes a long time to edit that kind of stuff. If you've got a lot of audio to work with,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Audacity is a free program, but still, you have to identify the baby sound that you want taken out.
Mm-hmm.
And now, once you do that, that makes the whole sound of everything else different.
Yep.
Hey, Al, just being that you're the Final Cut Pro guru, have you had much experience as far as playing with the audio in Final Cut?
I played with it, but nothing like, I mean, just the basic, Ron. I know nothing of audio.
Okay.
I'm a complete newbie at that. That's why I was asking about the Audacity.
Yeah.
Whatever that app.
At all.
What was that?
I say anybody in the chat, if you have experience of adjusting, playing with audio, that I'm not good at. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Everything I do in Premiere Pro with audio, and you can take out wind noise by using high filters or high pass filters or low pass filters. You can, and then you have to change the gain on the clean audio again, and there's a lot to it. But if you were, say, recording with this camera out in the wind, right, you can take the wind completely out of the audio.
Really?
With Adobe you can do that. With Premiere, I mean.
Well, like I said, this is not a paid job. It's a favor for a friend, and I know whatever I come up with, he is going to be extremely pleased with. I would have been very displeased if I wouldn't have had that setup.
Doing the photography work and video work that you do, a little bit off on some of the audio is not going to be a problem, because everything else is going to make up for it, and it's going to blend in just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, everything I saw, from the videos I did a bunch of stuff. I did when we would stop at different locations. We actually stopped at this one place We had to climb on top of these big rocks, and you're overlooking a big lake. And we're up there, and I have the Osmo. I'll tell you what, Mel, you know this. I just love my Osmo Action, man.
Man, that's why I bought a second one, Jim. Ron.
Damn little good camera.
Yep.
Love that thing. But I've got the mount on my bike, and I tell you, the footage is just smooth. It's awesome. I love that thing.
If I had to say anything about it versus the GoPro Hero 8, is that GoPro Hero 8 has two colors, GoPro color and flat. And if you want to get the correct color, you've got to use flat and then finish it in post, because the GoPro color is very, very saturated. It looks like they added a vivid LUT.
Yeah. How are you, Jim? How happy are you with the stabilization on that one?
It's pretty damn good. You can't argue with that. But it's probably the same on the Osmo.
Yeah, because I saw that one video you did on the bike, and those Harleys, vibrate like a, whatever. But yeah,
That's what I was trying to show. When I'm at a stop or a stoplight or something like that, that front windshield is vibrating like this, but as soon as you get going, it smooths out again.
Right.
I'm wondering, if you were trying to do just a straight video, I really was wondering what the hell that would look like. You know what I mean?
On the GoPro 8, do you have to use their software to edit it, or can you edit it on any?
You can edit it on anything.
Anything. Okay.
But the thing is that when it comes out 4K 30 or 4K 60, it does it in H.265. So you're automatically going to be transcoding that or encoding that to 264 in order to put it up onto YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So your software has to be able to do that. You don't have a choice. It's going to record in H.265.
Dick, I only ask because the Insta360 it has the proprietary software you have to use in order to get the footage you want out of it, like 4K footage. And then something that sucks about it.
Didn't you have to edit that? What was that process you had to do again? Didn't you have to download it to something first?
I had to take it to the Insta360 Studio. That's their computer software. And then I had to render it and add the flow state and everything you wanted to it. Not the whole coloring and stuff like that. Just the stabilization and converting it into an MP4 because it's their own file format. Kind of sucks.
See, that really sucks.
Yeah,
it does suck.
Because that's an expensive. That's a $500 camera, right? $400 and some dollars.
Oh yeah, it's the next step. Yeah, it's my first 360 camera. I don't really use the action camera, but yeah. This is my first 360 camera. It's a Vivatar, cost under $100. The file comes out as an MP4 ready to go into Premiere.
But the video quality on Al's bike footage was expert.
Yeah, but you know what? If you move the mounting thing, it moves so much. I mean, you wouldn't think it'd be so steady. You wouldn't take off with it like that. But I said the hell with it because I was sick of fiddling with it. And then the flow state, when I put it in through the flow state on that software, the computer software, Studio, the Insta360 Studio, did a hell of a job stabilizing that footage. It's just an extra step. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Hey Mel, where'd you find that Vivatar on Amazon?
I don't remember where I bought it.
Did you buy it recently for $60?
No. It was like retails for like $74 or something.
Oh, okay.
And I had two of them. I actually bought a second one on Facebook Marketplace for $20.
Well, that's not bad.
Because I chipped the lens on my first one. Chipped one of the lenses, and it would make a blemish in the video that you could see when you played the video back.
Now, I got to ask you, or do you even know, or do they even say, is that a plastic lens or a glass lens?
I'm guessing that the outer lens is plastic.
Yeah.
It's a protector, I'm sure, to protect the actual lens. Because when you look at it up close, you can see the lens in there. and then it's got this plastic housing over it. So I probably could have taken it to a watchsmith and had them file down and grind it out and polish it, you know, but yeah, it ain't worth it.
I remember you saying that all you did was throw it into your bag.
Yeah, I used to just throw it in my backpack with all my other junk, tripods and GoPro latches and catches and, you know. But I put the camera on the handlebar mount on the bike, and I rode the bike to work today, and then I rode it around after work. So I got that.
Wait a minute.
I got all that video in Premiere Pro right now. I'm playing with that.
Which mount did you use?
I used the regular GoPro bicycle mount with a...
Did you bolt the mount on?
No.
It was a clamp mount?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. Because I got a second one that I'm going to use to make my be able to mount my phone holder.
The one I got from that company, Ron, this is what it looks like put together. And it is a whole, whoa, baby. It is a whole different other size than the RAM mount. The RAM mount looks like a 1-inch ball. And this thing's got to be like a quarter. And the size difference is huge.
Does that one mount on that windshield screw?
Yeah, this is where it goes right through the windshield bolt, but they weren't thick enough. They're these thin, tiny little ass bolts.
This one is like the bicycle mount from hell, handlebar mount from hell. This thing is like.
Oh, look at that spring clamp in there.
Yeah. Where'd you get that now?
I don't remember where I got this one.
You have to remember, knucklehead.
You remember the secret. You don't want to give the secrets away.
None of those things fit around the bars on my Harley. We can't get them around the bars.
I know.
Too thick?
Even if you would, they're too thick. Even a crash bar can't get it on it.
I tell you, Al,
that'll go on the handlebars on my bike. And then this one has like.
That's the standard GoPro mount there, right?
Yeah, you can flip it this way.
Right.
And then put the camera right, it goes right into the camera. It's got the 1/4-20 screw right on the bottom of it. So I'm actually going to change my camera mount to this one. And the other one that I used for the camera today, I'm going to jury rig that up somehow to hold my phone. Because I have one of these.
This piece of junk is like almost
clamps,
$40.
How much?
40. It was like $38, and then they tax you,
Yeah.
And all this is made for, Mel, is to go onto the bolt through the windshield, the windscreen mounting.
Right.
But then then you can't move it. Yours you can clamp onto the crash bar, the bar in the back.
I could put it down on the crash bar if I want to, Yeah.
See, the thing.
Put it right down on the bottom of the crash bar, right behind the wheel.
See, Jim, where the mount I got will not work for you because of the way your mirrors are mounted. But Al, I think your mirrors, Al, have the stems, right?
And the bolt underneath.
Yeah, that mount I have would work. And the nice thing about that is you can actually take the mount that they gave me and loosen it, because the ball is down at the bottom, and you loosen that up, and then you can turn it any direction you want and adjust it, and then tighten it right back up, and it's solid as rock. It takes 5 seconds.
That's the link you shared with me that one time, right?
Yeah.
I put a lot of money into those mounts, man, and they wound up not working.
This one was $20.
You got quite a kit there. Hello, Adrian.
What's up, Dylan? Hey, what's up, Adrian?
I saw that massive. Was that a picture you showed me, Al? That massive setup you have of all the different mounts?
Yeah.
Or just show it on the stream?
That was no, I showed it to you via text. That that was the motorcycle bundle from Insta360.
Now, Dray was asking about the computer. Is when you're doing that 360 video, does that take more power?
Yeah, it does. It crippled my MacBook Pro. But you guys know that. All the editing I was doing on it kind of like took forever to get done.
You were getting some huge files though, 5 gigabyte files.
Yeah, no. The HDR ones were huge too, and I dropped. All of those were dropped into YouTube, 265, and it still accepted it. I think it just took a hell of a long time to render to its native format.
You mean YouTube will take the 265?
Oh yeah, it'll take the 265.
I've been converting everything to 264.
No, it'll take 265. I've been doing that. And the files are huge. You guys know that. Last time we spoke a couple of months ago, the file was like 13 gigabytes. And out of curiosity, I just dropped it into YouTube. It took forever. It's pretty funny.
Hey, Ron, I heard about your little incident. Sorry about that.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
I was still listening while I was still busy doing something.
Yeah.
No, Adrian, that's what's so annoying about that damn Mavic 2 with the side sensors are always off unless you're in a mode.
Yeah, on tripod.
That whole thing pisses me off. And I sat there, when I crashed, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, those pieces of shit.
That'll be available in the Mavic 3, Ron.
Okay,
I actually asked Jim about that today. I wondered. The hard part today, guys, was flying again. Dude, I had freaking chest pain today. I'm out there 10 feet out in front of me. I'm like, oh, dear God.
Yeah, that happened to me when I had a crash. It makes you frightful of even taking off for at least a week or two.
2 feet off the ground, you're shaking.
Yeah.
I was. Because that canyon, there's a lot of depth perception problems. And there's actually some wires running down through there. You really, really got to pay attention.
There's wires in there too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Ron, you think you lost connection, Ron, maybe? Or did you have connection and just hit the branch?
No,
did you lose connection?
No, I had full connection. It was 100% my fault. I was doing that left yaw. And again, I didn't see the drone. My problem was, and that's the whole lesson I wanted to preach tonight was, I was fixated on the screen, cinematic shot, thinking I was here when I was actually there. And yeah, it was 100% my fault, pilot error. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I heard that beep and I'm like, what the hell was that? Shit. I don't know who all has experienced that, but that's a life-changing experience.
Do any of you guys use the goggles for your Mavic? The DJI goggles?
I've tried them, Joe. They make me dizzy.
I was looking at those, but it's not compatible with the Mavic Air 2.
They're not?
We talked, what was it, Jim, a week or two ago? Somebody was talking about the Epson glasses.
Oh, the Epson Moverio BT300s.
Yeah.
Those are, you just put them on, they're really thin, and you put them on, and it's got like a heads-up display, a HUD display.
Yeah.
But they're expensive.
Doesn't Recoveryone Drone have one of those?
Yeah, Dray has them.
Now, is that for your phone, like a VR gear, or is that separate goggle form?
Dray, how do you like those? How often do you use them?
I think he's got the wife there, so he can't pop on. But I thought he loved them. I saw it last time.
Captain Drone, about a year ago, maybe, did a review on them. He seemed to be fairly happy with them. Oh, he loves them. Okay, cool. All right.
So, are you getting a video and telemetry on one of the lenses or both lenses? Do you guys know? I wonder if Dre knows. Well, Dre would know. He has her. Dre, do you get telemetry and video on both lenses, or is it just one of the lenses?
I'll be back in a second, guys.
I think it's one. It gives you more depth while flying. That, you know something? Wait, he says both.
Yeah, I said they're both telemetry and video.
Oh, but it's only one eye, right, Dre?
I think he means both, Jim. Both eyes, and you could see telemetry and video.
That's insane.
So those are like goggles, or are they a VR gear where you have to use your phones to?
No. They're like glasses.
Yeah, they're like my glasses.
They're glasses
they're thin, real thin.
Yeah. So see, Joe, you can actually use them for like goggles, and you can also see through, so you could know what your drone is.
Okay.
Jesus.
How much are they?
The lowest I'm seeing them here. Let me share this.
About $700 US.
What are you guys talking about?
I'm seeing them is 700.
Epson.
Oh, those are supposed to be pretty cool. Kelly Shores.
Dre has a pair.
Kelly Shores has some too, and he's pretty impressed with them.
I think they don't give you that boxed-in feeling.
Right.
You know, a lot of people wear the goggles and they get dizzy and whatnot. But
let's see. Dre says the screen comes in on both lenses, and it's its own separate unit.
Yeah, you could change them around too.
Hey, Dre, how are they on bright sunny days?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Look at that, Joe.
Yeah, that's kind of expensive because you can buy the DJIs for what, $900 for that?
No,
yeah, but those things are huge. The DJI ones.
Yeah,
that's like wearing
a cool though. The
big ass hat on your head.
Oh yeah, the digital thing. See that? That's not digital though. That still gives you the analog image from your drone. Right.
He says with the lens shades, they work great on a bright sunny day.
See the different shades here? Am I showing the right thing? Let me see.
I'll just see the glasses and the price.
Oh, okay. I have to change.
It comes with attachments on Jim.
Huh?
It comes with a little attachment that you put over the glasses for like.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to show. This is from the Epson site right here.
Yeah, there you go. That shows the lens covers.
The two different pairs. Let's see that video. Oh, now, damn it. Don't I have to turn on the audio first? If I'm sharing a screen. Let me see. Share screen. Then it tells me tips, and I hit share screen. Share. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Once you do that, then it says share audio.
Right.
Okay. So this is the Moverio. Because I'm not hearing any audio.
Me neither.
I don't hear him talking. Oh,
it's not coming.
Started using your DJI.
Now it is.
With the Epson Moverio BT300 augmented reality glasses. The BT300 projects a large digital image directly in front of you, allowing you to maintain line of sight with your aircraft while running the DJI Go or DJI Go 4 Android application.
So it is digital.
The system consists of two components, the glasses and a touchpad-based controller. Most of the functions you're familiar with on the DJI Go and DJI Go 4 applications can be accessed via the touchpad controller. When you get the Moverio BT300 glasses, the box includes the glasses, controller, charger, micro USB cable, carrying case, temple grips, which are inserted into the temples and offer a more secure fit, headphones and mic, light shade, which helps flying in brighter scenarios, a frame for prescription glasses, and a taller nose pad, which is used when wearing prescription glasses under the BT300. The Drone Edition includes an extra dark shade and accessory clips, which allow you to securely mount the BT300 into a Phantom or Inspire phone mount. Additional accessories are sold separately, including a premium polarized lens shade by Rochester Optical and a Mavic mount. Before flying, make sure that your DJI and Epson firmware are up to date. The DJI Go app will prompt you if the DJI firmware needs to be updated. On the Epson device, go to Settings, About Device, System Updates to install the latest version. Next, go to the Moverio Apps Market and download the latest version of the DJI Go or DJI Go 4 application available there. The DJI Go 4 app version on the Moverio App Market may differ from the version you find on the Google Play Store, as Epson tests each version to make sure it's compatible with the glasses before posting to the Moverio App Market. To connect the Moverio BT300 to your DJI aircraft, plug the glasses into the touchpad controller, then press and hold the button on the top of the controller to turn it on. The buttons on the face of the touchpad will turn green when connected. Power on your DJI aircraft and remote, ensuring the two connect. Now clip the BT300 into the DJI flight controller and plug it in using the included USB wire.
Oh, so you're not using any other...
Prompted to open the DJI Go 4 app. A lot of pilots are already enjoying
using like a phone or iPad.
As DJI and Epson continue partnering to improve your...
So you're not using any other, like your phone or any
display,
other
yeah.
So that just connects to the controller and that's it?
Yeah.
That's the way it looks, yeah.
Hey, Dray, can you still use the HDMI out while you're doing that?
That's a good question.
Because if you could still use the HDMI out, then you can still connect another screen.
Right.
I should have just, why didn't I play this thing in full screen? Okay, I'm an idiot.
We all know that.
It worked fine, Jim.
But you know something? I don't know.
Augmented reality experience.
That's a lot of money, but you know what?
Controller.
He's talking about here that you can use any other app.
BT300,
No.
when you get this via the touchpad controller.
Yeah, listen.
Can be accessed via the touchpad controller. Familiar with on the DJI Go and DJI Go 4 applications can be accessed via the touchpad controller. When you get the Moverio BT300 glasses,
that's crazy.
When you get the Moverio glasses, you have to get the DJI app off of their site because their app has the stuff for the glasses in it. And that's why he said that their app may be different than what you're accustomed to in the standard DJI Go 4 app from the App Store. So you're running a modified Go app. You're not running the original DJI one.
Well, see, now that worries me already.
Well, no, it's DJI's app, but they let Moverio modify it to accommodate their glasses.
So you can use
they probably just optimized it for it to be, for it to look better on the glasses.
So you can use those glasses for all the DJI drones, even the Mavic Air 2?
As long as you have a USB output from the controller.
Right. Here's the man who has them. My friend Tell Scott has them too. What's up, Dray?
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Dray.
Okay. Good to meet you too.
Very good to see you.
Yeah, the Epsons work great. They a good depth perception. That's why it allows you to be more critical when you're flying for getting close to objects because you get better depth. You're not worried about how close you actually are. You really see it. That's why I'm able to fly through windows on construction sites or large commercial buildings that the clients really like when I do stuff like that.
So the video from the camera is good enough to use, but yet it's transparent enough that you can see the drone really well.
Oh yeah.
At the same time.
At the same time. It's just
that's
like
awesome.
the technology being used is the same one that's used with jet fighters. It's a HUD display that's put in front of your face like a jet fighter has.
Okay, so it's a heads-up display. Okay.
That's exactly what it is. A heads-up display that if you focus on that screen, you'll see all your telemetry and speed and everything there. For your drone, look beyond the information. You can see where your drone is at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How long did that take you to get used to?
It was really easy. I never had the other type, the HUD type before, so I didn't have a problem with that. But the HUD display was something that when I worked for the PDs years ago, we had a few cars that had a HUD display on the front windshield inside the police units back in the 90s when I worked as an officer back then. So I've used it before, that type of technology, so it wasn't foreign to me at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the heads-up display? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was pretty smooth. Everything else, everything you're doing is just like flying with your phone, except you don't have to look down. That's the only difference.
And you don't even use the phone, right?
No phone is not that little.
No other display, just the glasses.
Just the glasses. And I think if you're using something like a P4 Pro that has the HDMI out, you can always set that to have a dual display.
Right.
So you still can run it to another display on the side while you're still using the glasses, because that's to the controller. It has nothing to do with that unit at all. That's to the controller itself.
So the standard Mavic 2 Pro controller won't work with those. Yeah, no. It would. You could plug. Yeah, because the standard controller has the USB port in the bottom of it, the USB-A.
Yeah,
that gives you your video to your device. So it will work with the Mavic 2 Pro then.
In theory, you're probably right. I never use the bottom plug. I always use the side one on all of my controllers. It's just out of habit, starting with the Spark on up. I've always used that side input. I never used the bottom middle one. So I believe we said if you get a patch cable that has the USB, the standard size that goes to an HDMI mini, or maybe standard size, it will convert the signal to fit that.
I bought that cable to switch to the HDMI mini.
Right. And like I said, the glasses themselves come in at 720p, but it is just like watching a 55-inch big screen TV in your room. That's how large the display looks in your eyes.
So, Dray, I had a question. When you're flying, can you find yourself to be able to look underneath the glasses, look down at your controller?
Oh yeah.
You to change something really easily.
Yeah, real easy. You just even look above the glasses. It's like wearing a pair of readers. You can look over the top, the bottom.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh yeah, you can look around it, no problem at all. But it just gives you that option of looking straight into the glasses, looking at what you would look at your telemetry on a phone or other tablet you would normally look down at. You see it right in the glasses. Everything is there. The only thing is that the touchpad, depending upon how you are with your finger movements and everything else, it can be a little tricky at times because it is
get that sensitive. On the controller for the glasses, you mean?
Yeah.
I saw it had that touchpad.
It can't.
I hate touchpad.
But you can adjust
touchpad mouse on a laptop. I hate it.
Yeah, you can adjust it, but it's still people have adjusted to its lowest setting, and it's still a little tricky.
So here's what I use, Dray,
Mm-hmm.
with this is the standard Mavic 2 Pro controller,
right?
With the iPad Mini 4.
Okay.
So I plug it in the bottom, and then I've got this 90-degree. Put it behind there.
Right.
And then I don't have this big plug sticking out on the side, and it doesn't interfere with my hands.
Okay.
So that's why I use that. If you do this scenario, you might like this better. I don't know. But the Smart Controller also has the dual outputs. It has the USB-A and the HDMI. So
not sure if it'll work with a Smart Controller. I'm not sure. I know
using the USB port, it would have to. I mean, it's the same signal coming out of there that's coming out of here.
Now wait a minute.
It was me.
This is the remote controller, so we can't. That's the charge port for the remote controller.
Right.
That's where I usually plug mine in at.
It'll work from there.
Oh yeah, every time. Works
well, Jim, that's the original output for your phone connector. That would be, right here. This cable.
Yeah,
this is the original.
You're right.
Yeah, so did I. Okay, so I use the bottom one to my display when I'm using this controller.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could use both.
Sure.
Use either one, or both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had a habit of using that side one from early days from my Spark going all through my Pros and then the 2 Pro. And the only thing is now with the Mavic Pro 2 and the Zoom, you must have controller 1B. Now, Mel, look on the back of your controller. Look on the back of it. What model number does it show on the back of your controller?
Who the hell can we? It says RC1A.
1A is the one you want.
This one says RC1A.
That's the one you want. If you get a 1B, it will not work with the glasses. And that's something DJI slipped in last year on those models they sold, because the ones that came out in 2018 had the 1As. If you bought one in 2019, you got a 1B controller.
That controller I bought in 2018. I bought my Mavic 2 Pro a year ago now. So yeah, it's a 2018 controller.
Yeah.
Where can I hook it up on the Mavic Air 2 controller?
Turn
through the USB-C on there?
That'd be a good one, because it's not so much your controller. I don't know if it works with that app. That's the problem. You don't have that Fly app. On that.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that runs a different app. To run the Epson glasses, you have to run the Epson Epson GoPro app.
Yeah, it's the same app that comes from DJI. It's the same identical app. DJI gave them a license to put on that device. Now, the only thing is, if you want to put other things like Amazon, Google, and stuff like that, you have to side load it in there, which they will not guarantee if it will work properly if you side load applications onto that little device they have, the little pad. That's the only thing on that.
Yeah, Dray, you were saying that you weren't certain that the glasses would work with the Smart Controller?
Yeah, the Smart Controller is a different app because the Smart Controller only works for the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic Zoom. Am I correct on that? It doesn't go down.
No.
It doesn't go. It doesn't work for the. I'm trying to see. Does it work for the Phantom 4s or?
Yes, it works for the Phantom 4 V2.0.
Okay, the Phantom 4 2 Pro, but won't work for the standard Phantom 4.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. Because this thing will work. I've used it for my Spark Pro 1, the 2 Pro, and I worked it with my Phantom 3 Pro and my Phantom 4. It's worked with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes it, I guess, worth the investment, right?
Yeah, it's very, very versatile. That's what I say. It works pretty much everything else that DJI has put out, except for these the Mavic Air 2 and the Mini. They use
and see the signal, the signal, the video signal coming out of the USB-A or the HDMI port is the identical signal. It's the same. It's just a different plug.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, because I know that it's the same signal being moved, it's just moving through a different plug so you can connect a different kind of cable to it, then it'll work with the Smart Controller just as well.
You're very correct on that. I did not heard anybody do it.
It's the same app. It's still the DJI GoPro app. I mean, just because it's a Smart Controller, I still have to open the GoPro app to fly.
Right. Here's my confusion. If I have the GoPro app already on here, do I have to still download the GoPro app again?
You have to download the Epson GoPro app.
It's the same app. It's the same app. As just say, you will not be using that tablet if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to hold on the side, put it on a tripod, that's fine. But when you hook everything up, that thing comes with a bracket that fits in between the sticks.
Right.
In the sticks right there, and that will be sitting in the center of your controller. And the same thing, if you use the Phantom, it'll sit like you little white clips that you put a phone in, a smaller phone. It fits up in there. They have special little extra white clips to even fit that smaller device. It's only about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide. So you gotta have an extra pair of clips to make sure it fits.
The adapters,
adapters, to fit in securely. So. I've enjoyed them, and I say it gives me a lot more confidence. And I say I've used it to do little special, tricks, as they say, with flying that allows me to get in. Because in my promo video, you'll see where I fly through a window on one project, and then later on, you see me come just along parallel with the roof of the building, flying within about a foot of the building. just doing a pan side to side of a roof line. And I did that wearing those glasses because if I was trying to do that with a phone or a tablet, I could not be sure of my distance from that building and everything else.
You had to have your eyes on the drone.
Yes.
And being able to have your eyes on the telemetry at the same time, I get how that would be so handy.
Yeah.
Totally. It would actually have prevented what Ron just had happen.
Well, like I say, I'm not going to say what Ron
most likely.
Because I'm trying to remember when mine got caught in the tree. My incident was kind of similar to Ron. I was downhill from where I was flying, went uphill somewhere else, and I was coming back between a set of trees and another property. And I guess my GPS was off just enough where the drone started getting a little sketchy connection because of the large patch of trees on this one property. And I kept getting out signals. Next thing I know, I'm stuck behind something. And my bird sit there for like 15 minutes. I'm trying to get a signal, trying to move it backwards, trying to move it upwards, whatever, but the signal wouldn't stay connected long enough for me to make an adjustment. And once the battery went dead, it fell right to the branches. And I was just, like I say, I was already at 380, 90 feet because where I was at and where the bird was at, I couldn't go up to escape because it could say altitude maximum limit reached. So I had to go either to my I think it would have been my left would have been with a bird to escape, but I couldn't keep strong enough connection.
I know that we're not supposed to go above 400 feet, but in that situation, I would open my app and raise that limit just long enough to try to get my drone up high enough to get a signal and get it back.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's one of the things you learn.
Unless I'm, where are you flying? You got to take all things into consideration, but and I'm a stickler. You can see my thing. It says hashtag fly safe, fly legal, fly smart, right? I mean, I'm a stickler for flying by the rules, but this thing is so freaking cool, though.
Yeah, and you see where I have the old standard connector, or I should say holder for the tablet. They give you a little plastic thing, and this is one I purchased later on for it. It's more like a fiberglass thing for it. But you see how
updated.
Yeah.
Now, with the handles for the controller being in instead of straight or out, do you find that to be uncomfortable at all? With the angle of the handles, you know what I mean?
See, it has like a little V shape to it.
Yeah,
so it actually gives you holding it right there, like you holding your phone would be in the middle.
So it's kind of
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute now. What did you mount it to the tripod too?
No, that was my GoPro sitting on.
Okay.
Man, I wish I could afford GoPros. You guys all got these GoPros.
Dude, I have an old one. It's a Hero 3 Plus.
Yeah.
I'm not fancy like you guys.
Still a GoPro.
There you go.
There's the Hero 1 for you.
There you go. Yep. I'm one of them guys that buy the old used stuff, and I just try to use it.
That's exactly where I got that from, man. I got that years ago from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
I go in the pawn shops here every freaking weekend. Do you think I ever find things like GoPros? No. But that's really cool. See, Kelly Shores did a review video, and I don't think it was Sean Oz that he had with him, but he had somebody with him, and he let somebody fly the drone with the Moverio glasses.
Yeah.
And his review was very impressive. But I learned more from you in the last 90 seconds than I did on Kelly's whole review.
Right. Yeah, I remember that one he did down there with Sean Oz a long time ago.
It was with Sean Oz, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was with Sean Oz.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dre, you had mentioned about what was that? You were like flying up along a gutter or something.
Was Ron, or is that
are you finding yourself getting a little bit better depth perception with the glasses as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest advantages to me. It just gives you a lot of confidence because you're able to see it. As I said, it's like watching a 19-inch TV compared to watching a 50-inch TV.
Really?
You just get more to see. And
how's the battery life on those?
Those batteries on things last about 4 to 5 hours.
I was going to say, I heard 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 to 5 hours on it.
Dre, which video is your feature video? The one where it says subscribe?
The promo one?
Yeah.
I want to come to my page to promo. That's just various B rolls of different jobs I've done.
No, I
And
go to
think-
your page and it doesn't. It
Okay.
just comes up with uploads.
Well, you're probably already a subscriber, Jim. Probably if you're not a subscriber, you'll see what he's talking about.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it is. So unsubscribe him. I mean, no big deal, right?
I'm not
Hey,
big time, you guys.
Let's unsubscribe and see what happens.
And then you can just
There it is.
see.
Oh,
I told you.
Yeah.
Now click the video and then click subscribe again. Don't forget to do that
Wait. I remember I have to do that stupid thing with the
with the audio.
Audio. Share screen.
And don't forget to resubscribe.
Share audio. I know, Mel. Shut up.
Hey, I just told you how to fix your problem, okay?
It'd be nice if I turned the audio on. And how about we get out of that?
Yeah, it'll be always 12-second long clip. This is okay. Go from there.
Oh, now it actually looks clear. Look at there.
Yeah, clip is well, that clip I think right through the window. I came through a window right there.
Yeah.
And then right after this shot, you'll see it turn. Next shot here, you see me pan across the roof right there. That's one of the glasses doing
Side
that.
scrape, yeah.
Yep. This is up by the Tribal Casino. This is a dog food place right across from my house, across the Route 66.
What city?
San Bernardino, California.
Oh, okay. I know it well.
This is off of the old fire house that burned down in the wildfires we had last year.
I used to live in Escondido.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know the area.
Should have just played it in this so it'd be clearer on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Well, StreamYard's kicking it at 720 anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
That's the old Arrowhead Hotel.
Yep.
The tribe owns now.
Good job.
Hey,
I've been up all around through there, Arrowhead Lodge, all that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Dray, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Adrian. How are you?
I'm doing all right. All right, now I'm looking at. I actually been thinking about buying these for a long time. As I'm actually looking at Amazon, they actually got two models. They got the 2019 edition, or they got the older model.
Right.
Now, when it comes to the 2019 edition or the older model, explain that to me.
The newer one, I think, is the BT35s. I believe is the newer model that is out there. They have a direct HDMI output port on the little thing on that.
Oh, I like that.
Now that one is, I would say, if you have a smart controller, I would get the BT35s to use with a smart controller, because I've seen a lot of videos where people have connected those with no problems, and no problems at all. The BT300s, the older ones, like I said, you have the little controller pad or whatever. The BT35s do not come with the controller pad.
I'm sorry.
It don't need it?
Dray is Recoveryone Drone. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The BT35s do not come with a controller pad, so they are made to connect to a regular controller. So if you like say with like you said before, you can have a cable come straight out of the middle port of the Mavic 2 Pro and connect it straight to these glasses.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But the reason why I asked is that I see Moverio BT300 Drone FPV Edition Smart Glass 2019 edition. And that one is for $699, pretty much the same price that we're seeing that when Jim went ahead and showed us.
Yeah, but there is one. We look up BT35, and you're using something with HDMI, that will connect straight to a regular controller, which you still will use your tablet or whatever as for the app. But these glasses will bring the picture up to your eyes, so you don't have to look down at the camera at all.
See, I thought those were cool when they first came out, but there wasn't enough people using them, not enough information out there on them yet. So, hands down, brother, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good information. Good information.
Yeah.
Okay. More question for you. Right, pretty much again the Moverio BT300 drone, the only one they're actually showing over here on Amazon or Best Buy. If I get those, number one, are they going to work with my DJI Spark, Mavic Air 1, what is my DJI Mavic 2 Zoom and the DJI Mavic Pro, correct?
Okay, your last part was cut out, but I heard where you were going.
He wants to use it with all his drones.
Yeah.
I want to use it with the DJI Mavic Air 1, the DJI
So if it has a Go4 app, you can use it.
Yes.
And a USB-A connector.
Right.
On the
Well, you can
controller.
worry about the connector later, but it has to have the Go4 app, number one.
Right. Now, with you, Adrian, because you have several other different manufacturer drones, I would check out the 35s because that is not reliant upon the Go4 app. The 35s is just a display device. So if you have different brand drones, the BT35s might be a way to go for you if you want something like that. Where you can just connect it into a controller of another manufacturer, and it should send a signal straight to your glasses.
Yeah, well, if you can go to the HDMI port, because on any other drone and you go for, you can turn on the HDMI output.
Yep.
So if I can use that HDMI and then still have my iPad on there for my own comfort until I'm ready to go solo.
Right.
That would be cool.
But then Mel has me confused because he says I still have to download the Go4 app again.
Well, no, see, Jim, not the Go4 app again. The guy on the video said to use the glasses, you have to get the Moverio Epson version of the Go4 app.
Right.
Okay.
So
it's the same Go4 app. It's just got their stuff added into it. Yeah, you'll need to get
the Go4 app on my iPad in order to use that. Their Go4 app.
Well, basically, the stuff you're trying to use, Jim, your iPad is just for display purposes. You're going to fly with the glasses if you get the 300s.
Right.
Okay? That is what you're going to fly. So all your telemetry and stuff is going to be on that. That's where everything you're going to see. Having a secondary display like your tablet, that is be something, like you said, something you'll be comfortable with to look at when you want to look at something, which is going to be kind of crazy because you have those glasses and looking on your tablet twice.
Yeah,
Hey, Dray.
it might be a lag.
Right. Go ahead, Jay.
You were saying the other glasses are compatible. I can use any controller. Like if I have a Hubsan Zeno, I could use it with that drone, or even maybe the Mavic Air 2, since it's using the other app.
That is what's been discussed. A couple of videos I've seen on YouTube where people are saying about the BT35s. Also, guys talk about it on the Phantom page, Phantom Pilots page, about getting the BT35s for that reason, so you can use with other brands or other models like the Air 2 and the Mini, because the Pilot app is not compatible with the Go4. They're two different apps. So that's the only way you can use the glasses if you get the BT35s. And I say because these glasses came out 2018, I think it was. So a lot of people complain that it's the CPU is old and all this kind of stuff. But it's like anything else, everything in drones, the technology in drones is going so fast in the last, I would say, 3 years. It's like going from walking to Usain Bolt in the Olympics. That's how much technology has passed through the drone industry over the last 3 years. That we were all excited about the Spark 3 years ago, and here we are. You can buy a Spark Flymore combo for under $200 nowadays.
Right.
The technology is just zooming past. So I think being able to have these that still will work with the Inspires, like you guys had Inspire, I'd like to see if they work with the Matrice series. I'm not sure. I know they have a different app for the Matrice. Some of them do use a Go4, but I think with the 600 and the 300 might have a different app.
Well, they has a Pilot app.
Right, but you don't have to use that one, do you?
On the Matrice I have, version 1, you can use the Go 4 or the Pilot app, which is like GSPro, Ground Station Pro, or Maps Made Easy or something like that, or Litchi. But on the Matrice 200 version 2 or the Matrice 300, you don't. It's just a primary DJI app. It's not Go 4.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to ask Dray, if there's an update on the app, does it update automatically?
Yes. Yes, as long as you get a Wi-Fi signal, because it's an Android device, just like your phone. It has a Wi-Fi built in and everything else. So as soon as you fire it up, it checks just like your regular apps. It checks for updates and everything else.
Dray, we're questioning you to death, buddy. Sorry. In reference to the smart controller, do the glasses have the wire connection to go from, because the smart controller has the HDMI output,
right,
where you can project to, a TV
device, right?
So, do you think that would still? I know you had questions on whether it would work with the smart controller.
Yeah,
the HDMI output from the controller. Do you think it would go to the glasses, or what's your thoughts?
I guess it's in the sequence of how it's set up, and it's kind of like a redundant thing because BT300s that wants to be your primary source.
Right.
Now you're talking about using it as a secondary source, which that kind of mixes things, apples and oranges. So I couldn't say I never tried. I don't have a smart controller, and so I never tried it, and I never seen anybody in the video use the glasses other than the 35s. The BT35s as a secondary source off of a smart controller.
Okay.
Yeah, because I automatically want to say if you're using that through the HDMI, which is only for video,
right,
that you're still controlling it by the sticks, and you're going to see it through the glasses. You see, that's where my confusion was. Which one is controlling it? That's why.
Yeah. Well, if you're using with the smart controller itself is actually still controlling. The app on the smart controller is doing all the controlling. That's if you're using the BT35s.
Right.
The BT35s is just like they're just a display. They're just a display. That's all they are. That's why they're able to connect to several different devices, because all they are is just a display. The BT300s actually has the hardware where it has the app itself, the part of the whole component. So, like I said, the 35s are just a display, just like the tablet that they've been brought. The signal's been fed to the glasses, but the BT300 is a complete operating system on its own.
Like you were saying, Dray, I'm wondering if, and again, just hypothetical, I'm wondering if I had those glasses yesterday, could that potentially have avoided my problem?
You know what? Without knowing how you flew it and everything else, it could have, and it couldn't have made no difference. What you're explaining, you hit something on the side, and that's very hard without the sensors, anything like that, because you're only seeing what your camera sees in the front.
Right.
But as you said, as you're doing a cinematic turn, you might have been able to see that tree. In other words, I need to get some more height, or since you're at 380, you only had about maybe 7 feet to go before you got that alert that you're at your maximum limit, and you might have said, okay, let me move forward, get a little down slope a little bit, so I can finish this orbit that you were doing, whatever the case, the movement you're engaged with. So that might have helped you out there, depending upon what you want to be able to see. Because I'm like you, once I'm into a mode, today I was out doing an orbit of crane. The guys are lifting the panels up for the concrete tilt-ups. And I'm focused there, and all of a sudden you hear, go battery. I'm like, okay, I got another half turn to go, And next you know, it's down to 15%. It says, oh, we're going to auto home mode. Right. And that's all you can do.
And I think, like I explained to the guys, I fault this back 100% pilot error. I was so fixated on staring at the screen.
Yeah.
That's where I faulted, I think.
Yeah. And we all do it.
I've done that.
Yep.
That's just part of flying, and how flying drones are set up, that they always talk about LOS, line of sight, but that screen is our connection. You know, like you say, that's why I tell people, I said, having those glasses is so much different than looking at a phone, and that's definitely different than looking at line of sight. A line of sight, you have no depth at all. You see that bird out there, you can't tell exactly how far it is, how high you are, because depending on the background behind it, you have no reference at all. That bird is just out there in the sky, and you can't tell up from down, left from right.
That's why, again, why I wanted to share my story tonight. It's like, guys, I screwed up. Listen to me. Don't do it. Don't make the same mistake I did.
Yeah, and it's like Al can tell you, you guys are experienced. Jim, you guys have been doing this for a lot longer than I have. But I just really depend upon when you show up on a site, and I'm sure you did it, Ron, when you first got there out of habit, you look for the hazards immediately right away. And then you continue to fly, and this just kind of caught up on you because you were focused doing something else. It wasn't like you were just reckless and jumped off the bike or wherever you were driving and just threw it up in the air and then paid no attention. You know, you knew the area you were in, you've been there before. And that's what I told guys, when you get somewhere, check out the natural hazards, the man-made hazards that you may encounter while you're flying. So like a lot of times, like I say, I'm looking at the screen, but I know I got some telephone poles there, and the average height of telephone poles in a normal area are about 50 feet high. High-powered lines are about 90 feet high. So, you know, in the area, so, okay, I know I need to be at this height no matter what, and I adjust my flight pattern from there. That way I know I'm not going to run into something unexpectedly and go from there. And like I said, I'm on construction site, so if I got backhoes, excavators, and that kind of stuff, I'm only flying about 30 feet. I guess, okay, let me get up a little higher so I don't run to one of these excavators, or like today I got these four-story high cranes lift up these panels. So I got to make sure I don't run to those cables, because sensors or not, they're not picking up those cables come off that crane. They'll run right into them. So I gotta make sure I keep my distance away from the crane. And like I say, do everything else. This thing's 4-story high, so I make sure I know what's my reference point. I might use one of the panels that's already there, and the crane's still about another 80 feet higher than that. So you just got to use your surroundings. Like I say, situational awareness. What's on the test? Got that, Adrian?
Situational.
What's on the test, Adrian? Situational awareness.
Let me ask you one question, Dre.
Shoot.
Real quick. Obviously, you like the glasses.
Yes.
So, do you recommend them? Do you recommend them 50%, or do you recommend them all in? Like this is a top-notch piece of equipment to add to your arsenal. What would be your recommendation level? In other words,
this is my recommendation. If you're going to be a Part 107 pilot, you're going to go out and make money, I would say this is something you need to have in your bag. You need to have it in your bag.
Definitely piece of equipment for your arsenal.
Yes.
Okay.
For your arsenal. If you're a hobbyist, the cost may not outweigh what you want to do, because we're out there just having fun, and they're a nice little addition. But if you're out there trying to make money, this will help you down the road. And
see what Gary says here? He surveyed the whole site and still nailed the power line while he watched the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We get into that screen.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing. I'm an up and downer.
I'll do it.
Watching the bird, watching the screen.
Have any of us not done that? I mean, you know.
Well, like I said, if you got to have a reference of what the size of those obstacles are. You know, me being in construction for the last 18 years, like I had, I can say, you go out there and tell you, a standard power pole in an urban environment is around 50 feet off the ground. I can go to any city, anywhere, and that's going to be the standard size of a power pole in your neighborhood community. Now, high power tension lines, they're going to be around 90 feet high, pretty much. And if you up there where Ron was flying at, you see those power lines going up side mountains and all that kind of stuff. Then you got to take into account for the slope and everything else, of how high these power lines are actually where you're standing at when you fly.
In fact, that 90 feet reference is really, really accurate, because when I was flying power lines for Precision Hawk last year in California, the top of the towers, we had to know, as the sensor operator, we had to get a measurement on the top of the tower so that the pilot knew what his minimum altitude would be.
Right.
And almost every time the top of that tower was like 100 feet, 105 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is a particularly sticky situation, because you're constantly going up and you got different heights of different trees.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking what was Ron's AGL at the point where he was in the tree. He said 380. I said, well, he had no escape room. He didn't have no escape room, because where he started off at flying at and where that tree was at on that slope, all he could do was go left or right. He couldn't
All
go
right,
up.
so to be critical, he should have known the top of that peak over there first, right? He should have known that height first.
Have a reference. And
I know that was well above that. That peak up there was pushing 800 to 1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like for me, sometimes I'm in an environment like that, which I haven't been too often. But I would have probably took my drone off of my starting point, sent it as high as I can go to be as equal to that highest hazard. So I would know as a reference point, this is where I need to be. Then come back down and fly my mission. So then I know what my reference point is of height. It's 1,000 feet. I know I better be careful if I'm doing an orbit with that cliff area behind my back.
Right. What were you asking, Jim?
Is there an inside to this picture? Is that where you're trying to go like inside a cove here?
I was about in the middle.
Okay. And you were just going to the side. You weren't going forward into them.
Right. I was in the middle trying to project across the street.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing, guys, I will relate to you that after an incident like this, you the very next time you fly, dude, I was shaking today. I had a hard time flying today. I was so scared. I was afraid to lift off, but it brought you back to, I say ground zero. Okay, guys, remember all the rules. Remember this.
More cautious.
That's
overly cautious.
Yes, I was like an expected mother today out there.
That can be as bad as overly confident.
Yeah. And it's like, shit, I just spent X amount of dollars today. I'm a brand new father of a Mavic 2 Pro, as opposed to my last child I just lost yesterday.
That sucks.
It does, dude. So many of us have gone through it. I called Jim yesterday. I told him about it, and I'm embarrassed to say anything to anybody, but you know what? Let me share my experience. I screwed up, guys. I did.
It happens to us all, Ron. I'm sure, and if it hasn't, it will. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've crashed.
If you fly, you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
I've had stuff happen. On the Inspire, I had the landing gear come down on me.
Yeah.
And hit a tree. I mean, dumb stuff happens.
Yeah.
The only way to be 100% safe is not fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even that's questionable sometimes.
Yeah. But
great information, Dray. Jim, thank you for sending me the link. But I got to get up early in the morning, so I'm going to bag out. Al, Ron, sorry about your mishap, but glad you're recovering from it.
Yeah.
And everybody on the panel, even Adrian. Yeah, even Adrian.
See you later.
All right.
See you guys later. Thank you, Jim.
Take care, Mel. Yeah, guys, my only thing tonight, hey, guys, I screwed up and hear me out. Let it be a reminder to you. I hope I don't make the same mistake twice.
Hey, Dre, I got another question for you.
Shoot.
On those goggles, do you notice any latency or delay compared to a phone on those?
Yeah, good question.
When I first got on with the Spark and all the Mavic series, no, hardly any delay at all. Nothing more than what you would get on your phone or tablet. When I first hooked up to one of my Phantoms, there was a slight delay, and it almost like Epson and DJI must have heard me, and the next week I got an update and that lag went away.
Okay, good. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm really surprised that, I know the price is what the prohibitive factor is on them, but I'm really surprised not more people have tried to get them, especially compared to the DJI goggles, which they're not FAA approved. You got to have a spotter when you have those things on your head. So
yeah, you can't see line of sight.
Yeah, these things here are qualified for the FAA. So you don't have a spotter with you because you can't see right through the glasses.
They look a lot more comfortable too, like regular glasses.
Yep.
And those are both made by Epson, the B35, BT35. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so the only thing I'm seeing in the difference is in the 35s, you're using the HDMI port.
Right.
So you could probably use them in more. You would probably be able to use them in. No, it still wants the Go app, right?
That's where I think that those 35 could potentially work with Smart Controller.
Yeah, the BT35s don't have any app to go with it. It's like I said, the BT35, remember, it's just like a display device. That's all it is.
Right.
There is no app program that runs the BT35s.
I might feel using your phone for those.
Yeah, you can still use your phone with the BT35s. You got to have a secondary port to plug them into.
Okay.
You don't hear about the glasses, and I don't know why.
No.
It's like
there's only been a few people. I think Ed Ricker did a video on a year ago. Kelly did a video on it, and then there's been a few obscure individuals. That's it. But I think it was the price factor that people just ignored it, because when those are at the same price as the drone itself, people are like, "Oh, wait a minute." You know,
it's a lot of money, man. $700.
It is, and that's why I said. That's why I said for hobbyists, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but
it's no different than a smart controller, though, Jim. Right?
Yeah.
Investing in a smart controller. In fact, right now, I think it's cheaper than a smart controller.
Yeah, and that's why I say the smart controller. It's nice. I've seen it, but I'm saying for it to only control the few amount of drones that you can use it with. I'm thinking, I got something else I can use that's backwards compatible on all DJI projects.
Yeah.
Products.
Hey, Dray, do you find again? I don't know if you have the experience with the Crystal Sky, but the goggles versus the Crystal Sky.
I have two. I have the 7-inch and 5-inch. And
okay.
If I put them in order, I would say the goggles being my number one choice, Crystal Sky second choice, and then whatever fancy phone that you spend $1,000 plus on.
Right.
If it has over 800 nits or better, that phone will be the one. Because like I said, that's one thing people get kind of confused on tablets. They think the size of the tablet is a big deal. It's not the size of the tablet, it's how many nits that it puts out, which is the brightness of your tablet.
Even the Crystal Sky today, I'll be honest with you, the sun was really bright today. I had to try to find little hiding spots, try to get in the shade.
Yeah.
And I have the Smart Controller. And to see I could see on the sun, but to see real clearly, again, I was so paranoid today. I was nervous.
I used the iPad on a job the other day, and I don't know how you guys use it. It's hard. I mean, it started dimming out. It was warm. It didn't shut down or anything like that. It just couldn't see anything.
Yeah. And there's times when I'm on job sites, I gotta sit with the door open on my work truck just so I can be out of the sun, so I can see it on the phone if I use my phone, which I usually do in work, because at work I pull up on job sites and I may see something I want to get a shot of. And let's get the bird up and go from there.
That iPad Mini is like that, Dre. Wait till you have that thing shut down on you. It comes up CPU overload, overheating. It just shuts down.
Yeah, I use an old dummy phone that I have for my daughter. It's an old Samsung Note Edge, and it holds up pretty well in the heat. I haven't had any problems with it, but like I said, it's a little maybe 4-point-something inch screen, and I mean it does okay for the brightness on it and everything, and also use it for some of my time-lapse videos.
I think this is even brighter than the damn iPad. The iPad's only like 400 nits.
Right. That's it. And that 400 nits is not very bright.
Nothing.
You start getting something bright when you get above, I would say 600 plus. And like I say, the Crystal Skies, the regular ones are 1,000. And I always tell people that's the benchmark pretty much. Is the Crystal Skies at 1,000, the Ultra Brights at 2,000 nits. And I think there's only some of the most recent phones in the last 2 to 3 years at 800. So I think one of the Samsungs is at 1,200 nits itself. That surpasses what a Crystal Sky gives you. But like I said, if you're going to sit there and pay, $1,200, $1,300 on a phone, yeah, that's why I said for a phone. I still have my original Samsung Note Edge. I said it does what I need to do, and I'm not smart enough to learn everything else about it.
I'll be damned if I was buying a Note 10 or something like that.
Right.
I got a Note 9 for $300 off of Amazon.
Yeah.
What's the nits on that one, Jim? Isn't it 1,000 on that?
It's pretty damn bright. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know the iPad, people have tested it. It's like 380, 400 nits.
That's horrible.
Right.
That's not good.
And that's what I'm saying. You got to think, here we are, we're told we got to fly in daylight conditions most of the time, but for our display devices, you almost need to be flying it either at pre-dawn or at dusk so you can see what you're doing on your tablet.
Yeah.
Now, I do have that big sunshade like Brian Mack does, and that thing's a big floppy pain in the butt, actually.
Mm-hmm. I got one of those.
I have the.
It's hard to reach in it.
Yeah.
Crystal skies.
Oh, you got a Dray Junior, Dray?
Oh, those are my grandkids, dude.
Oh,
my
okay,
kids are grown.
I thought I heard your wife saying Dray.
I raised 5. I got 2 of the grandkids here at the house.
That's cool.
Hey, Dre, I'm sorry to bring this up again, but on that BT35, it's just like a monitor, right? So you would still have to use your phone with that app that you're using specific to the drone?
Yes. Yes. The BT35 says display device. It has a little module that you connect to the
phone, whatever
controller. Yeah.
Okay.
Controller.
All right.
Tomas, mine is in the car. It's just the white leather one that velcros the sides around the iPad Mini.
Yeah, I think the Hoodman, the gray one that covers the whole thing. Covers the whole screen.
Yeah, you could just look, but then you're not line of sight anymore. If you use that Hoodman, that's like a telescope where you're 4 feet away from.
Say that hood's a pain though, trying to press those buttons and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you got a wide phone and that hood's just barely covering the sides.
Dre, I thank you, man. You've been a great insight tonight. I appreciate all your information.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Thank you.
No problem. I come to learn from you guys. You guys been in the game a lot longer than me.
Yeah, but like we said, I mean, I don't even know anybody who owns those BTs.
Wow.
I heard.
I've never heard anybody talk about them.
Well, the only person I've heard was Captain Drone. Good guy. Does it like an honest review, non-biased. But he did one about a year ago. I think it was on the 300s, maybe. Yeah.
I agree with you, Brian. When you got to wear these glasses or get the bigger screens like the iPad, that's why. Oh, that's a good question, Dre, because you're wearing glasses right now. Do you put the BTs over your glasses?
Well, yeah, and they had that review of they have that nose piece. Did you get that, Dre?
No, these are just readers. That's all they are. I don't have any prescription glasses, and that's why I like the Epsons, because looking at the screen, I'm like anybody else. I'm be 60 next year, and my eyes are not sharp like they used to be. And seeing on a small screen is just one little less detail you can recognize when the print gets smaller. Yep. And you keep telling yourself, why do you keep printing this stuff smaller? Your eyes are worse.
Good question, Brian. Glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Oh.
Because these are readers too, and I find myself wearing them even when I put the chat on here because I can't make the chat 400%. Yeah,
because that video, Jim, showed the I guess the little adapter to put on your nose in case you have regular glasses or readers.
Video showed it?
Yeah. It showed an adapter in case you have to wear glasses.
Okay, let me see.
For what's that, Ron? For the Epson glasses?
Yeah.
No.
The Epson, now there's the BT300s, and Dre says there's a newer size out.
It's both, but yeah, it showed a little adapter in case you definitely have to wear glasses all the time. Not just like like Dray said, just readers. But Dray, do you have to keep your readers on for you personally to read those glasses?
I usually use mine. Like I say, I keep 2 pair at work at my desk, look at the computer monitor. If I'm looking at my phone, while I'm driving around, I put my glasses on to see what's on, whatever I'm looking at. Here, I got them on, same thing. I can see without them. I can go DMV past any test you give me. I can spot you. I see you 100 meters out, I can drop you. But,
hey, Dre, have you used those at night before?
No. At night, I don't see any advantage of them because it's no different than, your screen that time.
Okay.
They don't add nothing at night at all.
Okay.
I mean, you'll see the same thing for the most part. I think there'll be more of a distraction at night. There's so many other different things you got to look out for at flying at night that I don't see advantage of using them at night.
I want to see what Ron's talking about, but I got to get rid of Brian there. Okay.
I remember seeing him.
Brian, just go to a 2.0 then, or 1.5.
I saw the plastic piece for the nose.
Yeah.
That would be your eyeglasses, wouldn't it?
Right, exactly.
300 augmented reality glasses. The BT300 projects a large digital image directly in front of you, allowing you to maintain line of sight with your aircraft while running the DJI Go or DJI Go 4.
You did see the Phantom 4 right in front of it.
The system consists of 2 components.
It works on the Mavics too.
Base controller.
Anything with the Go 4
you're
out.
familiar with on the DJI Go and DJI Go 4 applications can be accessed via the touchpad controller. When you get the Moverio BT300 glasses, the box includes the glasses, controller, charger, micro USB cable, carrying case, temple grips, which are inserted into the temple and offer a more secure fit, headphones and mic, light shade, which helps flying in brighter scenarios, a frame for prescription glasses.
Yeah, a frame for
collar
prescription.
nose pad, which is used when wearing prescription glasses.
There you go,
BT300.
Ron.
Yeah.
The drone edition includes an extra dark shade and accessory clips, which allow you to securely mount the BT300
Oh, that's
into a
cool.
Phantom or Inspire phone mount. Additional accessories are sold separately, including a premium polarized lens shade by Rochester Optical and a Mavic mount.
Wow, Mavic mount too. All right.
Considering it, Jim? Are you considering it? Getting a pair?
It's got my answer.
Yeah.
Thinking about it?
And if you're wearing glasses, the glasses the ones that I did see, because at Spin Up they had a pair. Somebody had a pair there. They would have to be a small frame. Like the frame that I have on here would be too large to wear with those glasses.
Interesting. Oh.
Because these are progressive lenses, so I don't have to bring the readers in or computer in or far away, and it does it all on one lens.
Was I just showing that Moverio video?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Because the guy is wearing the pair of glasses. Plus, it looked like they had a holder for prescription lenses if you wanted to put them in as part of the kit.
Mm-hmm.
So that one must have been what you were talking about, Ron, when you said that nose piece.
Yeah. It had like some kind of adapter. I remember seeing that. Yeah. Oh.
And so then if you have that, yeah, unless you're flying your sticks normally, you're just using that SDK app. 125. Really? Jesus, these are 1.5s. And if I take my contacts out, I'm on 3.5s or something.
Yeah.
Prescription.
What was the nits on the glasses? Are they pretty, like you could see pretty well even in high sunlight, or do you need to block off the lens with that visor? You know, like we have nits on our phone, and it's 1,000 nits or 600, 300 nits.
The heads-up display.
Yeah,
the heads-up display is a 720p rendition, and it's as far as nits, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around 800 nits. I didn't even put that out on the material, but it's fairly bright. And I say you put the sunshades over the top of them, which blocks out the direct light coming through it. You'll never miss a beat.
Really?
Never miss a beat.
Wow.
Like I said, if you in the later evenings where you might not need the sunshades, see them clear. Put the sunshades on. It's just like closing the curtains when you're watching a movie in the house.
No kidding. Wow.
Yep. That HUD display just gets a little pops right out in front of your face.
Yeah. That's awesome, Dray. Yeah, that's big insight of information. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sold, Dray. I'm gonna get me a pair.
Yeah.
What about so no third party? I think Gary Braneros is asking. You can't load any third party apps in it, like Lychee, AirFlight, Drone Deploy. I've
heard people do it, but the way they talk about how you do it is a real pain, and then it doesn't even guarantee if it'll work correctly.
So sideload like an APAC or
like say you have to sideload it like an APAC, and then you got to wonder if it's going to be working okay and everything else. So it's kind of like, yeah. You know, I don't want to be out there running a Lychee mission, and all of a sudden, like I think what Dennis was talking earlier about how it just went somewhere and stayed. It didn't follow through the rest of the mission.
That's crazy.
Yes. Cool.
My only reservation, Ray or Dre, would be I would call the company and say, hey, I got a smart controller. Are you compatible? You know,
that's what I do. I would reach out to them. That's what I would reach out to them.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Right.
But I'll tell you guys this: if you get a chance to try somebody else's out or whatever, I think that would sell you overall to be able to see how these things work.
I think the guys have a valid point, because, like, if on those drones that now DJI is coming out with all new apps, they're trying to get away from Go and Go 4. Like their pilot app is their version of Lychee. And as GSPro was back in the day, we had nothing in 2015 but GSPro.
Yeah.
So you had to use that. And there was no price tag to it. Now there's a price tag to GSPro. If you want to use point of interest or anything like that, you have to pay. I think it's $100. It's not big, but Lychee's $24.
Yeah,
right.
You use it, and then can you use DJI's pilot app? If you can't, these guys on that upper end are going to be.
Well, that's why I say it works everything from the Spark up to the Inspire level. Pretty much. Anything that's compatible with the Go 4 app, you'll be able to fly with it for sure. Anything else, like Brent was saying about, even on their app, it's their information page, they do not recommend or tell you that you can add Lychee. I think you put AirFlight, Drone Deploy, those things like that. I would love to put on it because I've used those apps for one time or another.
Right.
But like I say, it wasn't designed for that. And like I say, it only has a certain amount of memory on it and everything else. But I would like to have Lychee on it, like to have Drone Deploy and Pixel 4D and whatever else. But it's just such a pain to try to add it.
Are you using Maps Made Easy, Drone Deploy, Lychee? Are you using any of that enough to warrant or to make you pissed off that you have the glasses?
No, I used Drone Deploy for a couple of months just for the test period to see. I did some projects for the city that I work for to see how they get their tickets, because I saw the pricing was monthly. I'm like, no, this is not coming out of my pocket. If the city wants to jump on the bandwagon and pay for it, I'll do the missions. But
it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's too expensive. I think the lowest one was $150 a month. Like,
Drone Deploy,
I'm barely getting
4D,
3 months.
they're all sky high. And Drone Deploy keeps adding apps that are really useful, like the roof app and all that crap. But they're so expensive that I'm not going to use it enough. I'm better off doing the photogrammetry by myself, putting it into modeling software, and giving the product out that way, which I've done for years anyway.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, I mean, some people have money to throw away. These companies like, the big construction companies, they buy anything that comes out there. They'll pay $5,000 a year for Drone Deploy and Pix 4D.
Yeah, but when you got a cost of in the old days of having a helicopter up there doing the aerial photography and stuff like that,
Right.
and being able to put a drone up and put that up, you've paid for that in a year and a blink of an eye of one time of getting a chopper up in the air to do your filming.
That's true. But for guys like us coming into the business, 30 grand layout. Come on.
I think the most fun I ever saw is I was working on a big tilt-up building over here in Irvine, which Dray would be familiar with, the Irvine Spectrum area over here. And they had 55 AC units going on the roof. And to put them in there, the cost for, what was that?
I don't know.
The cost for... cost for bringing a crane in, just for bringing the crane in for setup was going to be almost $5,000 just to get it in. Then, the setup, the time and everything of setting the units on the roof, and then tear down and everything. So by the time you're done, you're probably talking about $15,000 to set these units up there. He made a deal with this pilot. He goes, well, if you're flying, man, I don't want you wasting around. Don't be sitting here on the ground. Get that thing up in the air. He just turned to the AC contractor. He says, you just get your ass up to Long Beach because your credit card is on file. And when I land back there, I'm opening up that bar tab. And you're going to be and he says, you're going to be in deep shit because it's Friday and you're in El Toro. And by the time you get to Long Beach, I'll have at least 3 or 4 drinks down me by the time you get there. They laid 55 units up there in that roof in 1 hour and 5 minutes. They had the crews down on the ground, crews on the top, plus the rigger on board with the pilot, and it was just a circular thing, picking them up and setting them in. But when they came through, they did the flyby to where they kick the ass end of the rotor down and blow all the roof off to get any debris off the roof before they ever even started. Man, it sounded like you took a 5-gallon bucket of nuts and bolts and threw it down a chimney. It was like bing, 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 bing. You heard this cracking, everything going on in the building because of all the loose debris on the roof.
Well, hey guys, I'm gonna pop out. But
yeah, we're gonna end it, Ron.
Yeah, Dray, thank you, man.
Yeah, right on, Dray. Thank you so much, Jim. Everybody,
my pleasure, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
You just sold a lot of Epson glasses tonight.
Yeah. I wish I would have known about that before I got my smart controller. Oh well.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
I know everybody loved it when they came out with the original spin up. They had them there, and they gave away a pair.
Yeah.
And
I
man,
would like to try them before I bought them.
Well, they had a pair there. You could actually had them hooked up, so you could actually see them where we were flying at the stadium.
Yeah.
I know that I'm sold. I'm definitely gonna buy me one.
Yeah.
You did.
You bought them already, Adrian.
But hey,
that's my only reservation, Dre, is the apps that can be used with it, because I've got the Go 4 and the Pilot app on the one system, on the Crystal Sky. I just press whether I want to go into Go 4 or from doing measurements, I press Pilot.
Right.
And, if I can't use that, I don't.
There is I have to fire them up. There is another app, another DJI app. I'm not sure if it's the Pilot app you're speaking of. It could be, but I know there's 3 apps. They got the original Go app, the Go 4 app, and there is I think it's a Pilot app that's already installed on the system.
Oh.
I have to verify that, and I'll let you know what the third app is. I know it's something I don't use myself, so I have to verify that. But I know there's 3 different apps, the DJI apps. So that's why you can use it with the Phantom 3 series, and then the Go 4 covers everything else from Spark to Inspire.
That's cool. Well, that's to their advantage. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Great night.
Well, Al Diaz, Dray, Steve, Adrian. I bet you fair do. Everybody in the chat. Again, I hope everybody learned from my mistake tonight. So
I have to
Okay,
catch
Ron.
up with you.
Ron.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Later. Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Good
Good
night,
night.
buddy.
Later, guys.
All right. Bye bye.
Hey, Ron. Oh, never mind. So I'll see you later, man.
All right. Take care. Good night.